There's so many scams. I have to change my username. Don't ever send me money. Imposters everywhere. Richard Hart, bracket. Don't ever send me money. Imposters everywhere, bracket. That's fucked up, right? And I'm out there actually making an effort trying to stop the fucking scams. And everyone else is like, oh, fucking that Richard, yeah, he's a scammer.
Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans. ICOs, pump and dumps, they always try to take you. Buy low, sell high, I'm tired of your fake news. You need a token, you broken, you wanna see some massive gains? Lambo, new crib, model wife, cash and chains. Look no further, it's your final destination. Don't be complacent every day when you paper chasing. Choose the best, leave the rest, stop investing like you press. The only crypto that you'll ever need is Hex. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans. Your investments are safe, it's got defenses. A mutable contract that pays trustless interest. I don't understand why everybody is hating. Hex is capped at 3.69 inflation. Shares are like hash rate. The higher you take her, the more daily interest that gets paid to the stakers. Always do your own research, don't listen to me though. It's complete, it can't be changed. Hex is finito. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans. The game has changed, ain't no going back now. Dummies that called Hex a scam can back down. I hope you understand, I pray that you follow me. You owe the entire Hex family an apology. And stay sober, cash out, the game's over. Hex is here for the market cap takeover. Buckle up, we about to be full throttle. With multiple audits where we get paid to hodl. We got the game smothered, sisters and brothers, with no expectation of the work from others. It's complicated, I know that there's a lot to this. For your daily Hex updates, tune to Hexologist.
What's up, guys?
Hex is like nothing that you ever been through. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the pumpamentals. If you like what you hear, buy now, stake twice. Just remember, yo, this ain't financial advice. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Hex Late Show. We are here this evening without Unwrecked Pirate. Unfortunately, he's not feeling 100%, so he can't make it tonight. So shout out to Unwrecked. Hope you're feeling better soon, mate. It's not the same without you. Now, we have a special guest tonight. Look, I'm just going to bring him up because the dude is legit legend status in the Hex community. So without further ado, here he is.
Hey, what's good?
Freddie, what's going on, brother?
I don't know about legend status, bro.
Dude, in the Hex community,
put my head too big, bro.
Status, bro. Legend status.
Thank you, man. That's an honor. Anything I can do to help build and grow the community, man, that's what I'm here for.
That's awesome, man. Very few people have contributed in the way that you have. I'm just going to bring up the other guys, and we've got Blue Bum, we've got Jexa, and we also have Mr. DJ Cryptomatic here with us this evening.
Boom.
Bringing all the talent on, aren't we?
The music show.
Yeah.
So it's like we're really pleased to have you guys on tonight. We're sort of we're still waiting for a couple of other people to make it on. I think we've got Tangent, he's on the way, and maybe, just maybe, Sammy might come on.
Awesome.
Yeah, so Freddie, tell us what's happening, mate. What is going on?
Not much, man.
That's not what I heard. I heard
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got some stuff happening, mate.
Hell yeah. So I actually spoke with my video guy last night, and they're working on everything. They pretty much got the intro set and ready to roll. Man, so much going on. So we hope to have, I'll just jump right into it then. We hope to have the first edit done by this Friday. So Sammy, what's good?
Hey, how's it going?
Rocking and rolling.
You didn't mean to. Welcome to the show. Hey, you keep going. Keep going.
Thank you. So we should have the first edit done this Friday, and then we have a couple other edits to do after that, just to see what changes we want. So we're hoping, I think the release date will be not this Friday, but next Friday, October the 1st. So
Nice.
that'll be freaking awesome. And then we're going to do a big thing.
Just for like, we obviously don't understand what goes into something like this. How long you been working on this? And yeah, it's taken a lot to get everyone together, obviously.
Yeah. So I tell you what, man, the longest part was writing the song. So I found the beat. It's funny. My wife and I went out to the Louis store actually, and we were grabbing a couple things for the Vegas trip, and we were on a car ride home, and I found the beat. I was just listening to beats on YouTube or whatever, and I found this beat, and I was like, oh my God, it's such a good beat. Like that would make such an awesome song. So I went and bought the rights to the beat, and then after that, I started writing down ideas. So this all started, I want to say, right at the end of June. And then by the time I finished the song, it was like, I don't know, it's been a few weeks. It's all a blur at this point. Like, once I finished the song, I still hadn't thought of a name for it. And like, I had come up with a couple different ideas, and my sound engineer, Chris Lee, and I were just kicking ideas back and forth. And I was like, well, what about fight music? And he was like, no, it's not catchy enough. And I was like, okay, well, what about Freight Train? And he was like, no, it has to have Hex involved in it somehow, or somehow have like the theme of the song involved in the name. So I was like, all right. And then like I came up with the idea. I was like, oh my gosh, what about the Furu Eulogy? And he was like, yeah, that's good. I was like, because I'm ending their careers. I'm laying these guys to rest. And I was like, oh my God, then what if we do this, this, and this for the video? It would be so dope. And he was like, I love where your head's at, man. So once I came up with that idea, the video came together very quickly. I was going to record it on Labor Day weekend. So this is a week before Labor Day. So this is like the end of August, right when Nardo and Cabana and Motley and a couple of my buddies and I went out on that fishing trip. I finished the song literally that week, because I was amped up, man. When I met Nardo got to the house we were staying at in Ocean City, Maryland. And I was like, bro, you got to hear this song. And I spit it for him. And he was like, dude, that's crazy, man. I was like, I know. I can't wait to record. And I couldn't record it for another week because my sound engineer was just slam busy. Let's see. So that was end of August. That was like August 26th. I think I recorded it the next Friday, September 3rd. And I was going to do the music video the weekend after. Well, then I talked to RG3. I called him up, and I spit the song over the phone for him, like without the beat, just lyrics. And he was like, dude, that's crazy. And then we kind of came up with the idea, like he was making a trip out to the East Coast for something. And I was like, well, could you swing by DC and we could maybe have you in the video? And he was like, yeah, bro. And I was like, oh my God. So once he said yes, and then I went to Maddie and asked Maddie, and he said yes, it's snowballed, man. Like every single Hexakin that I called to come be in the video was like, yeah, no problem, bro. And they were here in under a week. And then so it all went down one weekend. And then the next weekend, everybody flew in. Like everybody flew in on 1 week's notice, and we recorded the music video that week. Corey couldn't make it that week because he had a wedding, but he flew in literally on like 2 days' notice. Corey was like, bro, I'm there 100%. And Corey flew in, and we got this 1968 Cadillac hearse. It's awesome. This guy, like a friend of a friend, just randomly has this like tricked out Cadillac hearse that he bought and he's restored. He's a big car guy. So Corey and I did part of the video with that. And it was just awesome, man. Like once I wrote the song, it all came together very quickly. From the time that I got the name and the concept and the idea, we basically had everything videoed. Everyone flew in like under 10 days. Yeah.
Hey, Freddie, can I ask you, like, what did you go in with a storyboard and like a shot list, or did you just? How did
question. That's a really, really good
he was
question.
fired up from the Twitter beef.
Oh man, so dude, I've been amped up for a while about this, man. Kind of from when I wrote the Hexagon Anthem, but I wrote the Hexagon Anthem with the intent of Hexagons just having like a nanny nanny boo boo type song that, like, you know, we could blast and have fun with. But there was still some angst left over from that I hadn't gotten out. So you're right, Cryptomatic. It was I was pretty pissed about everything going down, but I lost my train of thought. What was the question?
I asked you whether you storyboarded and had a shot list, or whether you just vague ideas and went and shot it, or how you did that.
Hell yeah, that's a super awesome question. So I have a video guy, Sean, and he went to Full Sail down in Florida, and it's one of the best media colleges in the country here. Joe Hexotic went there as well, and I just kind of gave him the idea. And I said, this is what I want to do. This is what I want. I'll take care of all the props. I'll take care of everything. I just need this, this, and this. And I just gave him the ideas. And then he's the one who came up with the storyboard. So when we got there, he was like, all right, first we're doing this shot. Next we're doing this shot. Next we're doing this shot. And I had never really shot a music video like that before. So it was awesome. We had some extra help too. I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about that, but man, there's some big things going on in the community. And we had some big people flying. Literally, Emmy award-winning directors flew in their camera crews because they heard about the music video shoot going on and wanted to get video of the shoot. And then once that person got there,
that's B-roll for the doco or something.
I don't know, you know, something along those lines, man. But once that guy got there, man, and my video guy, like, Sean, he's a beast. He's awesome. He helped me do the video for the Hex conference when I did the Hexagon Anthem live performance. So he helped out with that. I told him that this guy was flying in, and it was like short notice too. Like, we found out about this. Kinetics asked me about it, I think Friday night, and the video shoot was on Sunday. So Friday night, he's like, "Hey man, is that cool?" And I'm like, "Of course that's cool. Like, who am I to say no, right? Like, yeah, the more the merrier." But once that dude got there, he just elevated everybody tenfold, man. Like, it went from I don't know, like a bunch of guys just getting together to make a music video I've never done that shit before, you know what I'm saying? To some guy who's like an Emmy award-winning director, right? Like, just
that'll focus.
So would he be a household name that everyone would know, or she?
I don't think so. No. He's, but I'll tell you this: he will be. He will be soon. This dude is a rock star, man. Like, this guy is just an absolute monster with what he does.
And did you have any kind of like major problems, like unexpected problems on the shoot?
Yeah, man. So I had everything all laid out, right? I started getting costumes in, and then the pictures of the Furus that everyone's seeing on Twitter, and like all the stuff for the actual the video shoot, like all the flowers and everything, and like the hearse, like the guy who had the hearse, he was like, "Yeah, man, but I'm on vacation literally every weekend in September, so we got to do that." So we worked out a time for him and I to shoot on like a weekday, and then so that kind of was a pain. Like, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to do it at first, and then literally the day that we're supposed to record with the hearse, Corey flew in. The dude calls me and he's like, "Hey, man, I just had a friend who just passed away this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this today." And I kind of talked with him about it, and I was like, "Hey, I don't want to sound like I'm insensitive or anything. You know, if you need to do that with him or whatever, that's totally fine in your family, blah, blah, blah." But so that was kind of crazy. The one thing though, I was having trouble finding a hearse or a casket. So I went on Facebook and I was really trying to find someone who had a hearse. Well, then we got the hearse thing settled. And then I found this guy in Tennessee, and he's like a semi-pro wrestler. And it's probably like a 10-hour drive from where he lived in Tennessee to where I live here in the DC area. And he had a casket as part of his bit. He's like a semi-pro wrestler, and I guess he's kind of like the Undertaker and Paul Bear. So he was going to drive all the way from Tennessee with the casket so we could use that to film with. So literally Saturday night, everyone is at my house, right? And everyone's hanging out, partying. We had a place reserved for us to go all have dinner and hang out and have drinks and everything. And he calls and he's like, hey, man, I'm not going to be able to make it. I came down with the vid. And I was like, oh, my God, man, come on, bro. I was like, I'll pay you double what I was going to pay you if you could still come. And he was like, they're holding me here at the hospital because I have high blood pressure. I was like, okay, no worries. Take care of yourself, man. Get better soon and all that good stuff. And I didn't want to say anything because the energy was really high. Like all the Hexicans were at our house. We were pre-gaming before we were going to go out. And I didn't want to like drop that bomb on everyone like, hey, oh man, we're not going to have a casket now. So my neighbor, Bird, this dude is a rock star. He literally has a wood shop in his garage. This guy like builds furniture and super cool dude. I go outside and I send him a text message real quick. He had run over to his house to grab some salsa and chips or something. But I sent him a text message and I'm like, hey, I didn't want to say anything in front of everyone else, but the casket guy just fell through. He's not going to be able to make it. I was like, do you think we could build one? And he was like, yep, no problem. Literally ran, jumped in his truck. I know, right? So jumped in his truck, drove to Lowe's or Home Depot, I don't know where, and like bought all the materials and started sending me texts and pictures like, how are these for handles? How is this for the trim? How's this? How's this? So we were literally just going to put one together like that night when we got back home or that next morning real quick before we did the video shoot. I was like, are you sure this is something we can build in like a couple of hours? He was like, bro, no problem. We got it. There's like 15 of us here. Everyone can help. We'll knock it out. I was like, all right. So, didn't worry about it. Didn't stress it. I was like, we'll find a solution. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? So I wake up on Sunday morning and I had a phone call. So let me take a step back. I was having some issues finding a funeral home for us to do the shoot in. And eventually, it was coming down to like Thursday morning. I still hadn't gotten a response from any of these funeral homes that I had reached out to. So I was like, all right, I told my wife, I used to do business to business sales for Verizon. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put on a suit and I'm going to go knock on doors until one of them says, yeah, no problem. So on Thursday morning, I had 2 funeral homes lined up that I had called this to ask if the owner would be in the next morning so I could speak with them about a video shoot. And the first one that I went to, the guy was just the most awesome guy ever. He was the first African-American student at the high school in Manassas, Virginia, where his family's funeral home is. And this funeral home had been handed down. There were like 3 or 4 generations deep. Like his great-grandfather or his grandfather, I think it was the original founder of the funeral home. And it's just been handed down. And this the most awesome dude I've ever met in my entire life. Like this guy was just a complete rock star. But you could tell, like I could feel the spirit when I was in there with this guy. Like I'm big in my faith, right? Like this guy was just, I could feel Christ all in this area, man. And I just kind of felt guilty about this song because it's not the cleanest song by any means. It's nothing like Mexican Anthem. So I was super nice and he was showing me everything. You could do this, you could do that. And I was like, awesome, thank you. And I left there with him having the idea and that I would still be coming. I knew in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I hope this next guy works out because I really don't want to do this here. I just wouldn't feel right about it. So long story short, went to the next funeral home. That guy was super cool, very laid back, very chill. So I was like, yeah, this is definitely the perfect place to do it. Did it there. So anyway, I wake up Sunday morning and I had tried to call the first guy, Mr. Ames, back on Saturday to let him know that I wouldn't be coming. But I got like his answering service or something. So they left him a message. He tried to call me back that evening, but I was out with all the other Hexicans and I just missed the call. So I call him back on Sunday morning and I said, hey, I kind of explained to him, the song is kind of explicit and I just didn't feel comfortable doing that in your chapel. And he was like, that's cool, man. I definitely respect that. I was like, by any chance, you wouldn't have a coffin laying around, would you? I swear to God, he was like, well, if you would have asked me about 20 minutes ago, I would have said yes, but my son literally just was taking this gentleman who had passed over to the crematory. He was like, you know what? Let me make a phone call. Let me call my son, and I'll call you right back. So I was like, okay, no problem. So Bird is up next door, like already garage doors open, like getting ready to cut wood. He's got music blasting. He's got beer set out. we're about to like get it in. So I call Bird and I'm like, hey man, like we might have a casket. So hold off, don't cut any wood yet. And he was like, all right, cool. So the guy calls me back and he's like, Fred, my son is about to pull up to the crematory or whatever it's called. He was like, if you can get there, they moved the deceased gentleman over into a different casket and they can't reuse these caskets. So what they do is once they're used once, they either burn them or they trash them. So he was like, you could honestly just go look behind there and they probably have a pile of them that you could just take one. He was like, but hold on, let me call. So he called and they're like, yep, you can have that casket there. So they've removed the gentleman and they put him into a different casket and you can have that one. So literally I woke up RG3 because RG3 stayed at my house and Nardo stayed at my house. I went and told them it was like 7:30 in the morning, super early. And I was like, look, we got a casket, but we got to go pick it up right now. And it was like up next to DC. So I hit my neighbor Bird up. And so we all hop in Bird's truck. We start driving out. And then Kinetics was coming in to help build the casket, like to help put it all together. So we were leaving the neighborhood. He was coming into my neighborhood. We turned around, picked him up. So RG3, Kinetics, Nardo, myself, and my neighbor Bird drove up and picked up a casket like that morning. But it was funny, man, because we were like, oh, we don't have a casket. How are we going to have a casket with like or a video shoot without a casket? Like, it, you know. So,
how are you going to bury?
It all worked out, but yeah, we definitely ran into a couple roadblocks.
I've got to admit, when
I
I've first seen the photos on Twitter, and I thought, what the hell are these guys up to? Because you just had all the Furies all laid out. I thought, this looks a bit rough. I didn't realize you were putting together the whole video, and that's all sort of come to light over time.
Well, yeah. So check this out. So that it's funny that you say that, Maddie. And like nobody really told anyone what was going on. They just started posting pictures of a casket and like all of us there in a funeral. So like Maddie got hit up and he was like, bro, there's people literally hitting me up, like giving their condolences because they saw pictures of me at a funeral. I was like, oh my God. Maybe we should have given some warning or something. I don't know. It was quite the adventure.
So
Man, I can't wait
know.
for this. I can't wait for this film clip, this song to come out. I really can't. It's been like a couple of weeks. It's been sort of out there for a couple of weeks that it's coming out, and I'm rubbing my hands together, mate.
It's gonna be epic. Hey, Freddie, haven't you got a towel? Didn't one of the Hexicans get in the coffin that was?
Yes, Joker. So I told Joker like came up with this idea. So I hit him up a week before just to see if he could come. And he was like, yeah, can I get in the coffin? Like the first thing he said was like, yeah, can I get in it? And I was like, bro, why do you want to get in the coffin? Like that freaks me out. Like I would never, ever, ever imagine ever wanting to do that. But at first I was kind of like, no, that doesn't sound good at all. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, that could actually be pretty funny. So, yeah, man, Joker jumped in there, and at the end of the song, we have his Joker laugh, and he kind of like, I don't want to, spoil too much of it, but there was definitely some funny outtakes. Like one of the cuts that he did, like the top of the casket came flying open and just knocked everything over, and it just like caught him off guard, and he was like super spooked over it. But yeah, it was pretty funny, man. It was definitely a lot of fun. But
I think there's plenty of room for a sequel as well, because I think we left half the Furies off the list, didn't we?
So yeah, in the song, so it started out like I hit up Johnny Chaos and like I hit up Hexo, and I was reaching out to people, and I was like, if I were to write a diss track to a bunch of Furus, like who would you want in it? And I swear to God, like Hexo was like this person, and then someone else was like this person, and then Johnny Chaos sent me a list of like 30 people. I was like, bro, I can't name all of these people in the song. Like, That's way too long. So that got a little overwhelming.
That's the song.
Yeah, I was like, I'd literally just be rhyming names.
Read out the
Right.
I got to say,
So-
I was a little bit disappointed that Alex didn't make it in there. I think he earned a
he's
special
fun.
place.
Richard already.
It's not in there.
Mate, he needs his own song.
Yeah,
Dedicated song.
Tasmanian Devil.
Richard already ended his career. I don't feel like I need
Not
to
much
kick
else
a
you can
dead
do.
horse.
Yeah.
This is true. This is
Yeah,
true.
Fair
big
enough.
horse myself. Beat a dead
Fair
horse.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell,
DJ
man.
Cryptomatic.
Hey.
DJ Cryptomatic, what's going on, mate? What is going on?
I've been so busy last week putting out clips and tweets and stuff on Twitter. I mean, with the price performance last week, that just had me all excited. That we made that jump to just to 50 cents, and then sadly corrected. It didn't stay there a little bit, but we're still good. It's what is it now? 43. Then I saw all these 50 cent from the rapper 50 Cent, all these memes flying around in the community, and then I just thought, hey, that's an idea. As soon as we breach the 50 cent mark, I have to get on, have to get live and do an all 50 Cent G Unit hip hop special mix. So I did that on Saturday and uploaded it yesterday. So I had about 120 people watching live when we recorded it. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So, I mean, the fact that we are this high with the price in Hex is just amazing. I'd never thought that we would get this far so quick. I mean, I'm in from day one, really, but I never thought that we would make more than 3 or 5 cents this year. So to have us at 50, that is just crazy.
Early days.
Yeah, but
It's
thanks for
early
having me on.
days.
Shout out to the Tangent there as well.
How's it going, Tangent?
The golden mic.
Yeah, all good. We've got a dedicated music guest today. It's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that
Both
mic, man. That mic
I don't
is
wanna-
pretty awesome.
I don't want to.
Oh,
I don't want
thanks.
to like. It is just a prop, guys. I hate
No, it's a real mic. It's a real mic. It's
real
just
mic.
not the one that is taking the sound right now.
yeah, yeah.
Hey,
You
I
shouldn't
want
have said
to.
anything.
Hey, I want to hear from Tangent and Jexa about how the Perth meetup was.
Oh yeah, dude, it was sick. Jexa, you go. Jexa put in more effort in terms of the organization of it.
Yeah, I didn't take a great deal. These days you can organise things pretty quickly with all the fancy technologies getting around. But I think we had probably 45 odd people roll up. And I know there was a lot of people that wanted to be there and couldn't. They were away working or, pretty spread out in WA. So there was a lot of people in remote areas that, well, not remote, but
It hit.
2 hours away.
It hit 50 cents while you guys were doing the meetup, hey?
Yeah, pretty much just on the way there, it started doing that. So you can imagine everyone was just a grin from, just massive
Ear to
grins, and everyone was in ear to ear, and everyone was in really good spirits, and a real mixed bag of people. But everyone was just we're all Hexicans, and they all had a ball, and everyone mingled really well, and probably had one too many drinks, but that's all right. That's what you do. Everyone wanted to buy me a drink, so I had to keep taking them.
I thought everyone was joking when I arrived and they said that we'd wicked up to 52 cents. I was like, haha, very funny, guys. It was literally, it must have been while I was in the Uber on the way there, and it was legit.
So, and it's funny. There's a lot of people that are in Perth that weren't even aware how many people were in WA or how many Hexans were in WA or Perth. So it's good that now that's sort of connected those guys with the rest of the community over here. So we'll be doing a few more of those as summer kicks in. Perth's a good spot in summer to get out on the water. So we might, you never know, you might see us in a golden
Do
yacht.
the yacht next time. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who's got the control over this stream at the moment? Like, who's got the? There we go. So that was the photo. That photo is the one that Jexa put up on Twitter, but I just saved it so that we could just pop it up.
That is
So
awesome.
Jexa organised those banners, 2 of them. I've got one hanging up out the front of my house now, and Jexa's got the other one.
It's a posh location there.
It's nice
yeah.
on on the water there. It's good.
It's a new, so they reclaimed land near the river, and so this is like a new area that didn't exist maybe 5 years ago.
Mm.
So Perth, for the geographically illiterate, that's all the way at the western end of Australia, right?
It's the most remote city in the world.
Remote capital city in the world. Yeah.
So which which in the current climate in the world has actually worked in our favour.
Yeah, massive.
Right.
So that's why we're all out there and we're all rubbing shoulders and having fun, and not so on the other side of Australia, unfortunately.
That's wild, man. They just did something like that in DC where they took the waterfront, they pushed the river out, and then just built they built a big, huge retaining wall. They pumped all the water out, and then they just built like 10 more city blocks right there where the water used to be. And now it's the waterfront wharf down in DC, and it's an awesome place. They have like venues and restaurants and seafood markets and all sorts of cool stuff.
Sometimes people think their views can't get blocked, and then it's like, just reclaim some land out of the river or out of the water, just making islands in Dubai and shit. It's like never. People used to say, don't buy apartments because it's just a concrete box in the sky. But when you buy a house, you're getting land, and only like God's not making any more land. It's like, humans worked out a way to do it.
Oh yeah. I always thought that hexagons would all get together and just start building islands. And then we would.
I think that's still on the cards.
Yeah,
I think people are definitely talking about it.
There are plans afoot. Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, people actually like, more serious than just sort of talking about it. Yeah.
Well, no. Just
I guess you don't. I don't know. I'm not serious as it is until it actually happens. Yeah.
I'm hearing whispers of an invasion over in Vanuatu though, where it might become Hexico over there.
Yeah.
You're going to buy up that.
Sometimes it's easier to just all go to one place that's regulatorily friendly rather than trying to create your own country. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of places in the Caribbean like that too, where they're super friendly to crypto and capital gains and stuff like that. We've been looking at the citizenship by investment for a while now, and man, hopefully, hell yeah. Hopefully there's a new product out there.
Just check though. Helps us. Just check though, because I heard from about one of them. I can't remember which one, that they're all that island is doing the mandatory wax mandatory. So just check which one you're going to join before.
Yeah.
Or what their kind of their policy
most of them,
in terms of that.
Most of them don't even require any type of residency, so you could still keep and live here in America or wherever, and then just have a second citizenship there. Some of them require like 5 days over 5 years, but some of them have none at all. Like you never even have to step foot there.
There's a guy I follow called Nomad Capitalist, and he goes through and talks about all the different places and the ones where you can buy it, the ones where you have to invest, the ones where, those sorts of things, and just looks at all those different options. He's not, I wouldn't take him as the only source of information, because there are other guys out there that say that some of his stuff is not as practical as it could be, or that there's some places that he doesn't look at. There was a guy saying that Dubai is the best place to go to, and he doesn't even look at that place. So, but I guess just as one source of information for that type of stuff, I find him to be quite good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I've watched some of his videos for sure.
Yeah, I've watched heaps of his videos.
Oh, okay, so you guys already know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been watching a few of the nomad capitalist type. There's Nomad Capitalist. There's a few others that I watch as well, because it's all changing. All these policies change quite regularly. That's what I've noticed. There's always something going on.
Change the rules whenever they want.
Yeah, and with that citizenship in a Caribbean nation, you just have to be careful, because that won't necessarily save you on tax. Like residency is, for tax purposes, is different from just having citizenship. So just having citizenship might mean that you can go and travel to other countries that country has that part where that passport doesn't need a visa to or whatever. But I don't know if it necessarily helps you. Like it can with tax wise, but maybe you actually need to like live 5 days out of the year there or whatever. I mean, they're all different, but
it's true. That's where, because I looked at that as well. Because it depends on where you've been before. So in my case with Germany, that wouldn't actually change anything. They would tax me in the Caribbean, same as in Germany. So
yeah, and the same
I
with
have
the
to
US
move
and the same
to
with
another
Australia.
place first and be taxed there, and from then make that double citizenship.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
it's a
but
big,
you could go to Portugal.
Process.
You could go to Portugal, and then become a resident there,
and
then
do
you
the
wouldn't
Caribbean
be.
thing.
Yeah.
It's also
because some
see
countries
if
don't have
there's
that
a
overseas
double-
reach, but Germany, for example, they have that. So you need to really figure out what is your personal situation.
Yeah.
It's not the same. I don't know about Australia if they can also.
We're the
reach
worst.
you.
Australia is the toughest. The
No, I think
worst.
America's the worst.
Yeah.
I think America's the
Such
worst.
a
for that
nice
sort of
place.
where
Come on,
you
man.
I don't think America is the worst, man, because we at least have things that we can do as tax havens here in the country and not be able to leave or have to pay taxes on things. You just have to have money and attorneys to be able to get this stuff set up. So
I should clarify. I just mean to do with in terms of you still getting taxed no matter where,
Oh, gotcha.
you go in the world.
Yeah.
The only way to really get out of it with America, you have to basically give up your citizenship, right? You can't. You're
No.
always
I don't think so. No.
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 Is that not
You can have a
right?
dual
No,
citizenship.
you can be a resident for tax purposes in another country and be a citizen of America.
I thought they were like brutal with that sort of stuff, and you had to keep
If
paying
you're
it back.
Only if
I
you're
think
a
you have to
resident in
lodge-
America.
You have to lodge a
Okay.
tax
Oh,
return
okay,
every
okay.
year. You just have to lodge one, even if you're not living there. But I think the thing that people should look into is whether the country that you currently live in has a double tax agreement with the country you want to go to.
Yeah.
That is something you want to look into, because if they do, there's an agreement between these two countries, and then you can, take advantage of that agreement between those two countries. Like, because that one country can't, mess up, can't, fuck over the other country, basically. So they've got to sort of be respectful of each other's rules. So yeah, check it out if there's double tax agreements. I know there is one with there isn't one with Portugal and Australia. I know that.
So there's
But I
looks
know
like
with-
we've got turtles only in the chat. He must be
Turtles only, cool crabs only.
Yeah, he's saying in Portugal we don't have taxes, so he's obviously he or she,
Yeah,
whoever
no,
is
crypto.
over there.
Yeah, crypto is treated as a currency, as a currency. So it's not.
So now,
taxed.
now we've got our connect over in Portugal. Turtles only. Everyone hit him up.
Sorry to break up
Whoever.
that riveting conversation about tax, but I just forgot to mention when we were talking about the meetup. So I did this thing where, like, so that you can see the Hex logo or the Pulse logo of whatever t-shirt I'm wearing, sometimes I'll just like drop my jacket off the shoulder. And there was a lady at the meetup that kept like grabbing my jacket and putting it back on, like thinking that, I don't know whether she thought that it had like slipped off or whether it was just like annoying her OCD, but she couldn't handle me just having my jacket back. She just kept grabbing, like, while we'd be in the middle of talking, and she would just grab it and just put it, like, not say anything, just
Nice.
grab it, put it back on, grab it, put it back on. And then I would
Uniform.
just
You
put it
wear
back.
that on stream all the time. So
Yeah, it was hilarious.
That is funny.
Such good chats at that place, though. It was so good.
Hey, I've got a really cool video. Well, an interesting video. Do you guys want to check it out?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's,
Do
it's
it.
from some stuff going down in Melbourne.
Fuck, they're throwing shit at the coppers. Look at that. Look at that. They're throwing shit at the coppers. Get him. Whoa.
Holy shit.
He busted the window.
What the hell, man? Whoa, whoa, whoa. 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 Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Shit. Fuck. Shit.
That guy's commentary
just,
is awesome. It's just
Yeah,
like, whoa.
just a quick language warning on that one too.
Hey, did you guys see Wales only post of the people that got shot by the rubber bullets and the holes in them? Like, they were fully like holes in them, like, and there's all red and swollen, like they were huge.
It's
I didn't see
actually
that one.
So just a
it's
bit of
getting to a next level now, isn't it? Really, in Australia.
a bit of
My,
background for
my
anyone
favorite
who's
one's the one
watching
that
that
Blue
from
Bomb sent.
overseas. Anyone who's watching that from overseas, that's in Melbourne, and what the state government did was they said that the construction workers weren't allowed to work for 2 weeks because they were protesting about not wanting to have some sort of thing.
Fuck the
Some sort
jab.
of a jab. Yeah, the jab. Yeah.
No, I think that the
So-
thing that
so
actually
they're just
the thing that
protesting.
broke that as well was they forced all the construction workers weren't actually allowed to go into a room and eat their dinner their lunch anymore. Like they literally
unless they were vaccinated.
And
so they all went, and the other day, like a couple of days ago, they all went and had their break and their lunch by blocking off blocking off a whole lot of streets in the city. So this is something that has been escalating. So and their union their union leaders are totally on the government side. Pretty much. Like they're not doing their job. They're not representing them at all, obviously. And they're saying that these people aren't the real members and stuff like that. So they've woken the sleeping giant in Melbourne. Shit's getting full on real.
No, it was a long time
do you
coming,
want to show,
be honest. Yeah.
And do you want to show, actually, if we're going to get on this track, do you want to show that one that I put in about?
That was my favorite one.
I actually had to record it separately to put it on here because I can't.
Okay.
I can't
It's basically just a cop threatening this guy with a gun. I assume it's rubber bullets, and the guy just literally does not flinch. He just stands there, and
that was amazing.
I think he says something like "F you" and "F your mother" or something like that. Something like just zero fear. This guy's got a gun in his face, screaming at him, and he's just like, "No."
He just didn't flinch. He didn't move.
Did not flinch. It was
just like, yeah. And then there was another one, which was where this cop, all decked out and whatever, was trying to get people to move, saying, "If I come back here, I'm going to have to arrest you." And this guy's arguing, saying, "Well, why? What are you doing? Da 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 da." And this guy was saying, "Listen, I feel for you. Like we think it's all bullshit as well." That the cop was saying that, and my wife's, she can't go back to her job, and I need this for the money. And so they get into this whole kind of interaction, and it's really interesting, man, because there are some cops in some very difficult situations, very difficult positions. There's a lot of humans in a very difficult position, you know what I mean? But the cops are like, they're going to be sandwiched, you know what I mean? And
see that these cops take an oath, right? And I was talking to someone about this the other day, and I have police officers in my family, and I have a very high level of respect for police, a very high level of respect for police and military. They're all put in a compromising position. But you took an oath to the people, okay? So a lot of people use the argument, well, they're just doing their job. You know what? The Nazis were just doing their job too. It takes good people standing up for what is right. And I said this a year and a half ago, right? When all this bullshit started, we were on vacation, and my mother-in-law was with us, and it was me, my wife, my neighbor, his girl, and then our son, and all of us. And it was the last day of vacation, and we were leaving the beach, and we went into this restaurant, and this restaurant owner was throwing a shit fit because I refused to put on a mask. And she was like, "You just have to put it on to walk from here to here." And I was like, "No." And I made a scene about it. And my mother-in-law and my wife, they were both super embarrassed. And I was like, this is not going to end until people start standing up together against it. And that's when it will end, when everyone refuses. So it comes down to that, right? Everyone is scared. Nobody wants to stand up. Well, now we're seeing more and more people stand up. I never wore a mask, not once. I would go into stores. People would say something. I'd make a scene. They leave you alone. If you make just the biggest scene, if you make a bigger scene than someone else is making for you to put one on, you'll win that battle every single time. You will win that battle every single time. And I made scenes. And at first, my wife was super embarrassed about it. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, just wear it. Just do it. Just do it." And then over time, she started to understand, like, no, you're right. And then once she saw the results I was getting, where people would just leave me alone, she would start to do it. And then now our friends would start to do it. And more people started to do it. So, I mean, I respect police officers. I respect cops. Military, all that stuff. I have nothing but love for them. They have a very difficult job, a very, very difficult job. But at some point, doing your job is hurting your fellow citizens, and people need to have the balls to stand up and say, you know what, we're not going to do this. And once everyone gets, and the fucked up thing is, it gets to the point now where you start having riots, like, right? Like, we're not ever going to condone violence. We don't want it to get to that. It shouldn't have to get to that. We should be able to get the results that we want by everyone just agreeing, look, this is stupid, we all agree. I mean, the media plays a big part in keeping everyone divided. And if you vote for this person,
I had the exact same thing happen, but in reverse. The chick that I was seeing said, I'm not wearing a mask and you're not either. And I said, look, I'm not doing it to obey. I'm doing it because I don't want the hassle when I go into a shop of people
that's what my wife
me and being like that. And she was like, no, that's not good enough. We need to be leaders, and set an example for other people, because if we don't do it, then and it won't have that flow-on effect. And so she did exactly what you did. Like, so in roles reverse, like I was your wife and you were her. And I saw the same thing happen where, like, what I thought would be a social disaster, people sort of like judging us and harassing us, people were like practically cheering us. Like people would like, were like, oh my God, these people are actually, you find out how many people are actually on your side of it, and who are also just doing it out of fear and just to make it easy. It was crazy.
Yep. She was the same way. She just wanted to avoid confrontation. And I was like, no, if we avoid confrontation, they're just going to continue to take until there's nothing left to take, and we're all just, slaves to the government, right? Like, we're not going to do that. We're going to stand up for what we believe in. This is what you believe in. You know that you don't believe in what they're telling you, so we're going to stand up against it. And it took a little bit, but the more and more we did it, the more she saw, like you said, people would see us out at the store and be like, oh, wow. Like, we would see people take their masks off when they saw us because they felt safe to. And we just kept doing that. And now, we never. The only place I would wear a mask was at Costco. And it's because I was like, I had a business affiliation with them. And I didn't want to.
I had an exception too, out of respect for the gym owner. I knew him personally, of a gym that I went to. I didn't want a situation where I caused a problem for him if someone came there and checked. This was how ridiculous it was. We had to wear masks while training in the gym. Like, it makes it like 100 times harder because you can't breathe properly.
Right.
Trying to work out with a mask on. It's ludicrous.
That was like the one place we didn't have to wear them, was in the gym. So, but yeah, it's wild.
They only did that to us I think I only trained like 2 or 3 times like that. But that was ludicrous, and I did it just purely out of respect for him, like, so that Other than that, I didn't wear a mask anywhere, especially not outside. That was ridiculous.
Like, I literally went to church and I refused to wear one at church. My priest mailed me a letter in the mail saying that if I did not wear a mask at church, he would have me arrested and I would be an embarrassment to my family. So my family, I swear to God, I have this letter.
Oh, pretty.
So my mom was, my mom started going to this church back in the 50s. And like, my mom went to private school there in elementary school, middle school. Like, my sisters and I all went to private school there, elementary and middle school. Like, we have grown up in this church. Like, my dad literally helped build the new church that they built back in the 70s. Like, we've been involved in this church for 60, 70 years, right? And that didn't sit very well at all. Like, I threatened lawsuits. Like, I showed it to an attorney. They were like, yeah, he cannot do this. This is overstepping his bounds. Like, there was a whole big like riff in the community over this stuff, man. It's like,
what a horrible thing to say, especially send you a letter. Like, he could have
literally said, you will be an embarrassment to your family and your friends when you are arrested in church. And I was like, you can't do that. No, you simply just don't know the law.
When you say, look, mate, can you wear a mask? We've got to ask you. It's mandatory that we do this, not send you a letter and threaten you with legal action. Like, that's disgusting. In a church.
Yep. I was like, so like from that moment on, like, I would just constantly send him videos and emails, and I started calling him John. Like, his name's Father John, but like, I didn't call him Father. I just called him John. I was like, all right, John. He was like, well, that's Father John to you. And I was like, no, I actually reserve that name as a sign of respect for people who are actual spiritual guides, not those who take direct direct orders from like our governor who did all this stuff. And I just we butt heads hard.
Good on you, Freddie.
But
yeah,
I'm like, but
Hey,
it
DJ,
comes down. Well, I'm just doing my job. No, you're not just doing your job. You know,
no
it's
way.
like,
You don't threaten that in a church.
Yeah, don't get me started. Getting amped up over here, Sammy.
Hey DJ Cryptomatic, what's the vibe like in Germany now with it? Is there still lockdowns and shit, or what's going on there?
No, it's just about to ease, but at the moment we have like the 3G rule. That's what we call it here. You have to be either vaxxed or healed or bring a test to enter certain things that are indoors, like a gym or.
How invasive are the tests?
Invasive? Well, what do you mean invasive?
As in, do they, is it the one where they have to stick it up your nose, or is it just like some other?
All kinds. So we have for the kids. There are the ones where it's like they suck on a on a lollipop, that type of sorry, that type of thing. So I just think the other end of that whole discussion is what happened that this has become so emotional. That is what I don't understand, because we're dealing with like medical science here, and in science there shouldn't be any emotion. It's usually 1 + 1 is 2 type stuff. And in Germany, actually, the whole country is in shock this morning of what happened last night. I don't know if you've seen that on the news.
What happened?
What happened?
There was a guy in a petrol station and refused to put on a mask, and the clerk at the counter, he sort of stood up for the rules and said, "I'm not serving you until you put on a mask." And then the guy left and came back with a shotgun and shot him in his head.
Oh,
20-year-old student who just did this probably as a side job. 20 young guy who was just following the rules as it was laid out. And then you have people like that. I mean, yes, you have crazies everywhere, and this guy obviously must have had issues. But
the thing is, as well, though, when you put so much pressure,
a lot of bullshit.
When you put so much pressure on societies, it comes out. Like there was a guy in the Netherlands who just had a crossbow and was shooting people the other day. Did you see that?
Wow. No, everyone's just on tilt.
Hell, man.
That's
shit's, I know. People are just and then people who are on the edge are going over, eh? Anyway.
Oh yeah, this is it.
That's how you
don't have to run away.
That's comical.
Let's check that out
but this to happen in the middle of Germany where
what did he say? Wow. Fuck you, brother.
Like where we don't even have guns in the country, and this guy has an illegal gun, and so that the whole country is in shock now, and everybody's questioning the narratives, like if this can be the outcome, of all this emotional, wear a mask or don't wear it. That's crazy, and it only gets worse from day to day. So I'm really worried about society at this stage right now. So other than that, we're still okay in Germany. There's not much protesting. Everybody's still.
Guys, we've got to onboard all of these people. We've just got to onboard all of these people, because Hex just gives people hope. It gives people a reason to live. It's like it's going to fucking save everyone.
We've got the war with China, World War III hanging over our heads.
Yeah.
ScoMo was in New York today for emergency talks. I mean, talk about drama. It's never a dull
I'm with
moment.
Billy Woo on this, that I reckon if there's a World War III, it'll be from citizens against their own governments, not in Russia, China sort of shit.
Yeah.
It's all
I mean, I could be wrong, but
no, you're probably right.
It's shaping up that way.
It's already there. I mean,
I love seeing what's going on there over in Australia. I mean, I hate seeing it, but I love seeing people just getting to the end of their rope and standing up against it. Like, you have to stand up for your rights, right? Like here in the United States, Nobody can force you to wear a mask. They can put mandates up. They can do this. They can do that. There are exemptions, and the exemptions are pretty expansive. Pretty much anyone in the world could qualify for any of the exemptions, right? Like if you put a mask on, if it's hard for you to breathe, which it is, I don't care who you are, then that's an exemption. You don't have to wear a mask. Like, so the mask mandates are all gone now. All that's bullshit. Like now they have recommendations. So, you know, we have tickets to a concert at the Anthem up in DC here in about a week or so. And they are requiring the jab or a test, and you have to wear the mask the entire time you're inside to go to this concert. And we're like, fuck that. We're not going to go. Like, it's not even worth our time. Like the money that we spent on the tickets, fuck you. We don't care. We're not going. We're not going to support your business. Like, just eat a fat dick. Like, you lost our money. And we were going to come out and we were going to fucking hex flex on these motherfuckers. Like, we were going to come out and, you know, do it big, but they're just losing their money. We'll spend our money elsewhere.
Exactly.
I think, you know how you were saying before, Freddie, that once people see an example, then people can say, oh, you know, it shows people what is possible. I mean, Hex does that every day, you know, of showing what's possible in crypto. And I think what's going on in Australia will hopefully set examples for other countries that you don't have to bend over and do what you're told if you don't believe that it's ethical and if you don't believe that it's you know.
I don't think Australia is a great example of that. We've for so long.
In terms of how long it took for us to start standing up, or
yeah, like we've had a good life for a long time, and we have had so many laws introduced that take more of our freedoms away from us in terms of privacy. They get snuck through.
The privacy ones are the
Parliament.
worst.
Yep. And
I mean, they have a law now where they have a law where they can go into our electronics and make shit up, and that's okay now.
They can modify, delete, or add data to our devices. Yeah. It's effectively it is the police planning evidence in the digital world. It is the sprinkles of crack at the crime scene.
It's astounding, hey, that
so if you go through customs, they can demand your password to your devices. So once they
so just be prepared to go to jail.
You got no freedom.
Prepared to go to jail
in terms of that. Yeah.
You know.
So I don't think we're a great example, and it's taken.
I guess I didn't mean broadly. Yeah. I meant more just with this specific example of what's going on in Melbourne right now. That just as these specific images will go virally around the world, and hopefully people will take that as, rather than looking broadly at the full history of what has happened in Australia, just see those images and go, you know what, we can stand up too. You know what I mean? Like just incite that bravery on a global scale.
Sammy, how long have you guys been in lockdown in Melbourne?
Over 200 days. Me and day 43 have been, but
Jesus, that's like 6 months. Over 6 months.
No, I know, but you know what,
mate? My kid hasn't gone to school in term 2 or term 3. It's half a year of school that he hasn't been at school. He's been at home.
We're lucky. We're the lucky ones that have made a lot of money in lockdown. Like over lockdown, the 200 days I've been in a Hex. I've made some really cool new friends, including you guys. I've made a lot of money, and you know we are the lucky few that have been really blessed over this, because a lot of people have lost a lot.
It's definitely a silver lining. It's definitely a silver lining, Sammy.
We're getting out. Finally, our Premier said that they're not going to turn back. So we're looking at November to basically break out. The government can't afford to pay everyone now. And, we're going to get out. So it looks like end of November we should have a lot more freedom.
But that's a question that I had. How is in Australia?
End of November.
How's the financial situation for
businesses? Businesses are trash. Like,
businesses are trash. But in Germany, for example, if you had a regular job, you still, even in lockdown, you're getting about 70 to 85, depending on your bracket where you're in. You're still getting paid normal. That's why nobody's up in arms. So but
does that pay come from the company or from the government?
Government.
From the government.
Yeah.
So everybody's still getting paid. Everybody
did that a little bit over here. We had something called Job Keeper. It was like the government would give the money to the company to pay the people who couldn't work or whatever.
Through
they only
job
did it
centers.
for a short period of time.
And all these full-on companies like took heaps of it, like Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Apparently,
a lot of fraud.
Heaps of
your business had
JobKeeper.
suffered at least a 30% reduction in revenue to be able to be eligible. It wasn't just available to like any company.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You had to expect a reduction.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. That's actually right. But then you did have to fill in. Oh, you are right. Yeah.
It was a prediction. Shit.
Yeah. It was a prediction.
There has been great
it was a
support.
prediction.
I know
you had
that
to predict
that has not been the
decline.
case in the United States. So I was just wondering how the system is in Australia to support the businesses and the people.
But don't get me wrong. There's people that have done extremely well over this period as well. So it's not everyone, but a lot of businesses have gone.
Yeah.
DJ Cryptomatic, and that's what I just wanted to just say that, like, for example, I got a girlfriend who just set up a hairdressing salon. We went into lockdown, not realizing this was going to happen. So you can imagine you need customers to walk in your door so you can pay your rent and your expenses. So even if you get a loan from the government, because they don't pay you like over in Germany, you have to pay that back. So even when we open up, you're going to take one step forward, 2 steps back, because you're going to have 2 years or 200 days to catch up on. So it's not going to be pretty.
If you're independent and just took on a big credit to start a business, then of course,
even if your business is operating as normal, that period of time is very difficult for businesses to survive. Most small businesses go bankrupt within the first couple of years. So then to have it like that is just nearly impossible.
Yeah.
Hey, I think what we've seen in Australia is an example of how a country that used to have a lot of opportunity and used to feel like quite a free country is no longer a country that has that same opportunity. I mean, think about it. How expensive are houses here?
Impossible for students. Yeah.
Can a young couple buy a house? I mean, the average house in Metro Melbourne is over $1 million. The average house.
Ooh. A mil in
US
Sydney.
dollars?
A mil in Sydney will get you like a really bad
like a 2-bedroom
somewhere that you wouldn't want to live is like $1 million. It's ridiculous.
What's that in relation to American dollars?
74
0.74
American.
So 750 grand for $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's like average in Metro Melbourne. Like there's plenty of stuff that's more than that.
Day 43. Do you want to flick my screen up and we'll talk Hex a little bit?
Yeah, I was going to say, the chat's getting restless.
Yeah.
So this won't take long. I was just going to mention
Moonboy math.
I really like this. So crypto bubbles didn't used to include Hex. It wasn't one of the ones that would show up, and now they have actually included Hex. This is recent. Super stoked. And the way I've got this one coded here is the size of the bubble is the market cap of the coin, but then it also shows the monthly gain inside the bubble. But you can do stuff like this where you can just show the gain so that the size of the bubble is the gain.
Yeah.
And the thing was,
they're pulling that from coin market cap, obviously.
Oh yeah, because you're right. Because when you go like this, you can when you click on the actual coin, you can actually click here and go directly link you straight to coin market cap. So
this is what everyone's been. Sorry to cut you off tangent.
No, go.
This is what everyone's been noticing. Yahoo Finance and all those guys that pull coin market cap data for their site ranks Hex at number 4. I think it is 3 or 4. I think it actually ranks it at 4, where CoinMarketCap doesn't do it themselves. So they're actually pulling the data direct, which is correct, but CoinMarketCap still forcing everything to page 3.
That's a massive opportunity for Nomics to get out there and put their name out there and say, look, if you pull our data, it's going to be in the right order.
Well, they're catching up. I mean, Nomics is growing and catching up. They're getting more popular, I think.
But isn't the market cap wrong on Yahoo Finance?
Yeah, it is. But I'm saying they're using CoinMarketCap's data, and even with the wrong market cap, we're still at number 3 or 4.
Yeah. Someone should contact Yahoo Finance and let them know that that's incorrect. The market cap.
Yeah, but that's not their business. Their business is just pulling data from CoinMarketCap. That's who they get their feed from. So
I was looking. I was
take it as a win anyway. Like at least it's getting up there. Yeah.
Shut up and go with it.
Yeah.
I was looking at the monthly, the total, like the whole history of Hex today, and I looked at it on the monthly. For the last 8 months, we've had green. The last 8 months have been green, like 8 months in a row.
Yep.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one, I guess, depending on what chart you are on, probably could have been green because that's pretty much just a doji candle. Yep.
Yeah, I was looking at the Uni 1
V1. Yeah, because then you get the longer history, right?
Yeah.
Here we go. Boom. Nice.
So the big red candles, were they related to big payday?
Yeah.
So that was the run up into big payday there.
Yep.
And what was the other one we had there?
And then Jan of this year.
We pumped up to 2 cent on New Year's Eve, and then after that,
that's right.
Back down to like 0.07, 0.08.
That's right. Yep.
But that monthly chart's just insanely
Doesn't
green.
look like slowing down either.
The crazy thing about that monthly chart is we are reaching the point of parabola where the next move is into the $5 to $10 range.
Yep.
If we extend this parabola by another 2 to 3 months, if we continue this parabola by the end of the year, we will be in the $10 range, which is what Wales has been saying for a long time. And to see this all happening and play out, it's just unbelievable. Yep. Crazy.
Yeah, if we follow, that's very doable. And that's a long term. That's basically from the start of it being chartable.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
It could literally follow that. What were you saying? $10? Yeah,
that's not that far away.
Just a couple of months. Like I said, if we continue this over the next 2 to 3 months, and there's a lot of stuff coming, man, that will help with pushing this into virality. It's unbelievable to think where this could be by the end of the year. Someone posted a chart and it showed $14 on this parabolic rise by January 1st.
So 14. So yeah, look, I mean, my parabola pretty much goes to that exact spot. Is early Jan. It's in the teens of dollar teens.
And crazy.
It's crazy,
man. Hopefully, all these restrictions are lifted and all of you guys can come for the Vegas conference because that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's in March. Is that correct?
Yeah, March 6th through the 9th. And let me plug that real quick. I believe it's hextickets.com. It is not. What was it? Hex.tickets.
And if people need an extra incentive to go to it,
the conference website, hexconference.com, and then from there you should see the tickets link.
If people needed an added incentive, not that you do, because it would be madness. There's a chick named Bree who does cuddle therapy. Who's going to be?
What's that got to do with Vegas? If you want to cuddle,
be at the Vegas Hex conference.
Hexticket.com.
A lot of cuddle therapy in Vegas, I've heard.
It's hard to find a cuddle in Vegas.
She's coming on Ladies Discourse.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's. I only saw her on Twitter because of your feed, Sammy. I saw her through your. You either retweeted something of hers or commented on something of hers, and yeah.
Probably. Are you going to get a cuddle when you're over there, Danja?
Let's try. Let's work out whether we can even get there first. I don't think we will be able to.
What are the rules for getting into the US? What are the rules for getting into the US? Do you need to?
You'll have to be vaxxed.
Do you need to be vaxxed to get into the US?
Yes.
Let's not get back. Let's not get back on the vaccine.
So a crypto friend of mine, he's not Mexican, started looking into chartering a private jet to El Salvador, and wanted to basically look at the price if it was split. I think the plane takes like 14 people or something like that, but I think he was estimating split it between 10. I think it was going to be like 50 grand each. And he just said to them, he said, will you guys look after the whole making sure that we can actually get the F out? And they looked into it and they came back to him. He sent us in the group, he sent us the message, and they were saying, like, we're sorry, we can't guarantee that we're going to be able to make sure that you can leave. Like, you guys need to sort that side of it. Yeah. So, that's chartering a jet. Jexa and I are now talking about owning the jet. I think that'll be slightly different.
So we can hire that pilot who just whistle blew the other day.
We won't have to wear clothes.
We've got a pilot in the part of the Perth Hex crew. We've got a pilot there.
Cool.
That's true. Yeah, we've got a pilot. Retired.
Yeah. So what else is he going to do? He might as well fly us over there.
Boom.
Yeah.
No, but they lifted
where's immigration
for UK and Europe now as of November, so we can travel to the States again, but you must present proof of vax and a recent test. That's the rule. I mean,
is that
subject to
and
both.
Is that oral and both. You have to do
yes.
Yeah.
Well, fuck that. All you got to do is get to Mexico, and then we can just bring you straight to the border. They let you right
in. That's what it says on the
Mexico.
website.
Straight over.
They're not requiring illegals coming across the border to be vaccinated or anything. So just get to Mexico, and then come across the border. You're fine.
Under the bridge.
So I was talking to my wife about like if we travel to Italy, the rules are there that you need to have had a test within 72 hours of arriving, and then they need to see the result of that test. If you don't have that test, like a clear test, then you have to isolate there, I think for like, I think five days.
Yeah.
And in Australia, if you come into Australia, you've got to isolate for 14 days.
14, yeah.
See, getting there is one thing, but being allowed to come home, which by the way is a human rights violation for them to not let you come back into your own country that you're a citizen of.
Well, they've already done that heaps, haven't they?
They've done that heaps. But so I worry about not just being able to get there, but also being able to come home, and also same.
I'm not worried about that.
I'm just going to keep going. If I get out, I'm just going to keep going for a while.
Not coming back.
Not for a while.
I'm not worried about that at all.
It's
not that good, guys. Guys, Australia is not that good anymore.
Yeah, it's shit. Let's fly everyone over to us.
Like, seriously.
But Blue Bum, you think Einstein's overrated, so...
You know what, guys? I'm torn. I'm torn between staying and trying to get shit happening properly here. And just like, this is bullshit.
The Australian democracy. What is more overrated out of Einstein and Australia?
What's more overrated?
What is more overrated?
That's a tough one. Einstein is pretty overrated, man.
Guys, Qantas want to be flying like by Christmas. They want to make sure everyone can go see their families. So now with coming back to the country won't be an issue because the airline's going to start back up again soon.
So the thing is that if you're going to want to, they're putting in these rules, like you're not going to be able to do anything about like going, if you want to go to Europe, they've already got these rules there. So it's like, what do you do? It's like you just either.
But you can have a test. You can just have a test and get in for a lot of places.
I think you can have a test that's clear and you can get in. I don't think you have to be vaccinated to get in. I don't believe that's a requirement.
I think I saw a video the other day where there was an American movie being filmed in Australia. And the guy was there like, yo, why the actors are exempt from masks? Like, they're not going to catch the vid. Like, what's good? And he was just giving the cop a hard time.
Dude, they locked down the whole city and then they let a film fucking crew shoot a film there while it's all locked down.
Yep. Crazy.
That's bullshit.
Crazy. Man. That's unbelievable. Well, no, it's very believable.
And you know what? To get all the permits and stuff for shooting in the middle of Melbourne, you have to you have to jump through a ton of hoops, and so like it's not like some little bureaucrat just made that decision. That's a number of people making that.
Have you seen those hoonigan videos where they lock down and they just shut all the roads in an entire city so that he can just do burnouts and drift through the streets? It's like Ken Block. He's one of the. Have you guys not seen those videos? You need to see those videos. No. They are insane. They lock down entire cities so that he can just go do burnouts throughout the entire city. It's madness. It's madness.
I know, guys. Can I just tie? I just want to. We've spoken a lot about, what's going on in Melbourne, and like what they are doing here is they are financially crippling people so that they're forced to make a decision against their better judgment or against their will. So people are just making a decision so they can get on with it and get back to work or whatever, even though they don't want to. So I'm just going to tie this back to Hex. Yeah, it's cool, but I'm going to tie this back to Hex, and I know this might seem like a long bow, but it really isn't, because what Hex is it gives you an opportunity to detach yourself from that whole reliance on that financial system. So you can set yourself up with stakes for 15 years, and then really you depending on how hard you go or how deep you go with your stakes, you might never have to worry about what the government might or might not give you in terms of money. So you'll just be financially independent. So yeah,
I think most people come to crypto for the mad gains, and then they start to understand what it's about from a political and self-sovereign point of view, and they rarely want to exit. The people that do wrap their head around that don't want to exit the system. They understand what it's all about and where it can lead us. So it's all fun and games, and we have a pretty good time. We've got good people in the community that make it even more fun with videos and music and things like that. So we're pretty lucky. We have a fair bit of fun along the way in Hex, but there's a serious side to it. And the guys that have been in crypto for a while, they're pretty committed to looking after themselves and getting to breaking those linkages to the legacy finance. And when you get people with that sort of mindset and they're enabled with the finances to go do something, that's when we can really affect change. And I think that's what you're going to see come through with our generation and futures. There's a lot of young kids in crypto that are getting cashed up and are motivated, and it's good to see it.
And one of the things that I think is, like, we don't talk about it enough, and it's the fact that your money is in a bank, right? And you don't have control on whether that bank account gets shut or whether you have access to your money. That can get frozen. Your money can get frozen. It's been done before. It's going to happen again. But that can't.
I see it happen. I see it happen on a weekly basis, mate. I've got people around me all the time that get their accounts locked, and they've got to go beg to try and get access to their funds. That's not.
On what? What's this on, Jax?
I can name it handfuls of them. Like it happened to my friend 2 weeks ago. So,
is it always crypto related or various?
Usually crypto related, where they've sent something send some funds to an exchange, and they've got no right to lock your account down if you've knowingly done that. But they do it under the guise of protecting you. But even still, I've seen, and for legitimate reasons, one of my friends, someone tried to transfer some funds out of his bank account. I don't know how they managed to get to that stage where they could do that, but this guy wasn't called up or told, hang on, we're going to shut your accounts or anything. It was just across the board, accounts all fully frozen on a Friday afternoon. He lives in a remote town. He's got no way to access money till Monday morning. And then he's got to drive 60 Ks to go try and get his accounts unlocked. But that's not your money. When people are doing shit like that to you, that's not your money.
Yeah.
So Jaxa, can you tell us why is crypto better than that?
Well, it's available usually if the networks are running as they should be 24 hours a day. You don't need permission to access your funds. If I want to send money to one of you guys, I can do that pretty much instantly these days, very cheaply. I don't need to provide documents, driver's licenses or anything like that to get identified to get permission to use this network. It's open and available so everyone can use it.
Permissionless, censorship resistant, borderless.
Borderless, yep.
Hey, Jeff, were they affiliated with CoinJar? Were they was it CoinJar?
No, it's many different. It's not exchange specific.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's not exchange specific and it's not bank specific. I
think the main point is they don't really need a decent justification. They can kind of just make something up and just be like, oh, we saw a transaction coming in or out or not of your account, and we just thought we'd just lock the shit up. So it's you know what I mean? Like the actual reason behind it, although interesting or worth noting to try to avoid that happening to you, the scary part is that it's able to be done at all.
Yeah, so there was one bank in particular, I think it was the NAB, NAB. They locked this person's account. The person called up and said, why have you locked my account? And they said, oh, we've seen this transaction go from here to here. And she said, well, yeah, that's me. I've done that. I meant to do that transaction. And they said, no, we're going to need you to go to, it was some regulatory body, I can't even remember what they are now in Australia, not related to banks at all. We're going to need you to go over there and fill out all these forms and do this complaint and go through this big, long process. And she came back to me because I was helping her with a few things. And she said, oh, they want me to do this. I said, they can't make you go do that. Like, it's your account. It's your money. Just go stand up to them. And it wasn't until she got angry with them that they actually went, oh, okay, we'll unlock your account. But they were willing to take on this merry dance and fill out all these forms and everything. That was, it's crazy. And they just, as soon as they sense that someone can't assert their rights, they really take them on a journey. So
hey, you know what's weird? My girlfriend across the road works for NAB. And when I told her all about Hex and got her into Hex, she's like, I go, do you have a CoinSpot account? And she's like, I go, you got to get a CoinSpot account. She goes, I already got one. NAB gave us all one, or got us, gave them a link to get one. So that was like really weird that they're affiliated in some way. She's not even into it. So, like, she doesn't know what she was doing before, like I showed her.
So, can I just say one thing to what Day 43 just said? Because how do you see that taking place? Because yes, as you said, the young kids having a lot of cash could be the ones who bring that cultural change and could change things with the government in future. Be your own bank definitely is step one, because accounts get frozen. But I think if Hex is going to do that in future, how do you manage that process? We would need some kind of a council or something to bring these what are the political ideals that we want to push forward? Because my fear at the moment, and this may not be a popular opinion in Hex, but I am my own man, so I will just say it, that I'm worried that at the moment, from what I see mostly on Twitter, is that our community is in danger of being hijacked by certain people pushing an agenda. Because even if it's alternative media, if it's these truth tellers, etc., some of that is also false information being spread. And they see an opportunity with what's going on in Hex, that they could jump on that train and sort of put us Hexicans in front of their in their carriage, so to speak. Like,
what are you talking about? What are you talking about specifically?
I don't want to.
Are you saying?
Because that would annihilate too many people.
Yeah.
So I thought we would talk fun things today, but let's keep it real. Like, for example, yesterday was posted this thing with and I'm buddies with Wales Only. That's my man, 50 gram. I'm like, no issue. We talk in private, etc. But yesterday he just forwarded something which I think maybe sometimes he also doesn't check properly, but he just posted stuff, and he put forward this thing of, it was a video in New York where they put a 2-year-old kid on, put the mask on in a nursery, in a daycare thing, and said like, this is now the new rule for New York City, that even 2-year-olds have to wear a mask in daycare. And then I said, what, 2 years? Can't be right. And then I looked deeper into it and checked the news, and what is it? And the news is actually not that the kids have to put the mask on, the carers have to wear the masks, the employees there, not the little kids. So and that's played, it's just wrong what is being spread. So,
so you're right.
Like,
you're right.
everybody's pushing an agenda, and it's very difficult to. I'm all with not wearing masks everywhere, and the vax might not be good for certain people. It might very well be good for the elderly and people who have other pre-existing conditions, because if they get COVID on top of that, that might totally fuck them up. Like, so you have to. There's always two sides of a coin, and I find it very difficult at the moment to weed through what is right and what is what, and what are we really getting behind, if that makes sense.
But that's hang on. That's hardly the Hex community being co-opted. That's just a bit of. I mean, there's misinformation all over the fucking shop in social media and mainstream media. Like, it's everywhere, and you can't stop it. What you have to do is get people aware enough and informed enough to be able to discern for themselves. You know what I mean? But there's always going to be little things like that. That's not really the hexing community being co-opted, though, I don't think.
I think what Kinetics is doing is brilliant. Have you guys seen the interview with Cynthia McKinney?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it gets to the point where if you can't beat them, join them. So we have to get them on our side. And I think reaching out to congressmen and women, speaking with politicians and developing relationships with them, I think that's going to be the way to do it, because they're not going to do so. Congress is exempted from the vaccine mandate, right? They're not going to do anything that isn't in their benefit. So if we can somehow tie a benefit to them, and we can include them and bring them in and teach them and show them, because a lot of them just don't understand crypto. If we can do what Kinetics is doing with Congresswoman McKinney, then, and former Congresswoman McKinney, I guess I should say, but if we can do that and then develop these types of relationships, I think that's how we get adoption, and that's how we get them to be crypto friendly. The more and more
you cannot change the system from the inside.
I'm telling you, man, the more and more you get congressmen and women involved in it, the more they're going to put out legislation that benefits them.
Yeah.
You know what?
Everyone should just. Why I just made that comment, and I also really like both of the comments that you just made in their own right, but also because someone in chat accused us of being an echo chamber where we all just agree with each other and don't let people come on the channel who don't agree with us. And literally, after they made that comment, we're all disagreeing. So how do you like that?
That's progress.
Whoever made that comment has obviously never listened to us for an extended period of time.
Oh, true. We always disagree.
Look, you could be saying something that's 100% correct. Blue Bum will disagree with you just to disagree with you. That's how we roll, man. So.
But yeah, I think Richard does a good job of educating quite a good sort of like thought framework that would hopefully extend just beyond protecting against crypto scams and also any kind of, broader scamming of our community in any way.
Man, when I watched that, if anyone hasn't seen that Adam Stokes interview, Adam Stokes on his channel, he's done a part 1 and a part 2. He's interviewed this guy. I don't know the veracity of everything that guy was saying, because he was saying some pretty full-on stuff.
What was his name? Louis?
I can't remember. It's on Adam Stokes' YouTube channel.
I'll find it.
Yeah, and like, but it was astounding. Like, some of the things he was saying about the underbelly of what's happening in the crypto scene to crypto people and to crypto companies is just like full on. Like there's intelligence services in America and other government workers are basically going out trying to find people who have money and extorting them. Like that's just straight out what they're doing, and they're doing it for their own personal gain. And then also they do things like one arm of government.
Entrapment, isn't it? I think
total entrapment.
Basically,
they set up companies and try to get people to use their services, and then try to entrap them, like try to frame them by getting them to say certain things or whatever like that, and then just even having the threat of that over their heads. And then if they don't comply with, we'll just pay us 20 million and we'll forget about it, then they'll push it up. Well, now it's 40 million and they do other things like one arm of the American government will take another arm of the American government to court, and then they'll have a settlement between those two sides, just so that they can set a precedent, so that other people can go after other companies which happen to be named within that or whatever. And it was just that the culture of it was just sounded like that's just like. It's worth watching those two interviews. I highly recommend them.
Yeah, that sounded legit to me, that thing where they basically create a sham case. One side like deliberately concedes just to set that precedent, and then they can use that precedent to win future court battles.
And the way they use the media as well. Like there was the whole base of this was there was a New Yorker article, like basically slamming this whole crypto company, and this guy who was the head of that company went into why they were all wrong and how it was all bullshit. But also what he revealed is that it was probably written by lawyers, because what they do is that they have to put in certain things so that then people who are wanting to investigate, they can take part of that article and use it as a reason to be going after
you use it as probable cause.
A certain company or a person.
Yeah. They don't so that they don't have to take responsibility for the information source.
Well, apparently this article is completely full of lies. This guy, their company wrote an 800-page document exposing all of the lies in that article, but it doesn't matter. You can lie as a journalist.
Just shift the accountability to the journalist, and then the journalist
especially in America,
protection of being like, I was wrong about that. Whoops.
Well, that's why all these publishers are in New York, because New York has a really specific rule where people can't sue for defamation, or they can, but it's incredibly difficult. And there's all these like loopholes for publishers. So that's why a whole lot of publishing companies are in New York. So the New Yorker publishes something which is a complete and utter lie, and then this guy can't even sue them.
Unbelievable.
So just back on Archie's comment as well, he's saying that the bottleneck or the issue is always going to be the fiat on ramps and off ramps, because that's obviously at the moment we need to take our funds into dollars to be able to action things in the real world, we'll call it the real world. I think that will change dramatically and we're seeing that now, like everyone is fast getting wallets on their phones and on their computers. And I think this cycle in Bitcoin and crypto, I've seen people that I would never have thought would be in crypto now understanding what it's about and having wallets on their phones. Primarily because of as a result of Hex as well, and through my relationships with them. But these are guys that weren't really interested at all, but now they get sucked into that rabbit hole. Yeah, great seeing the gains and awesome to make money along the way, but it also exposes them to a whole another side of what's going on in the world that you don't normally pay attention to if you're just listening to mainstream media. So when you get that awareness of what's going on in crypto and why, it's only a matter of time that you get That it's the same what we're seeing in Hex. You get that virality kick in, and you get a tipping point where there is enough people with a wallet on their phone that it becomes extremely useful at that point. So at the moment, it's
circular
like,
economy.
Yeah. So at the moment, it's like half a dozen people with a telephone. It's great, but it's not real good until everyone's got a telephone, and then you can call whoever you like and do whatever you like. And we haven't reached that point yet, but that is accelerating at a fast rate of knots.
It's faster than the internet, because people have done comparisons about where the network was at that certain time when the internet was starting and how fast it grew. And crypto's is growing at about double the pace of the internet.
Yeah, is that right?
I guess you'd expect that because we've got the internet to help the propagation of the information about this new technology.
What about these cards where like you can load crypto onto them and spend it like Visa? Like, isn't that?
Yeah, but it's not. It's not those. Yeah, but it's still. I was actually watching you use yours the other night, Tangent, and you still have to load the card. You still got to convert.
Yes,
with Aussie dollars.
Yeah, you got to.
And you're still a slave to Visa or MasterCard. They can shut you off. Yeah. They can shut you down. They can end the banking relationship that they have with the card company, like as in say with the actual crypto company, or they can just shut you off as an individual. If so, you still are at the. It's not quite as crypto as it sounds. Yeah, you are right. You are right.
The end game is definitely having the merchants having crypto and you just paying them in crypto.
Yes,
that's the
QR code.
That's
easy. No middlemen.
You know the beautiful thing about the El Salvador legal tender is that there are many multinational to global companies that are being forced to set up the infrastructure to accept Bitcoin in their stores. So we're talking like McDonald's, all of those big companies. And then at some point they're going to go, well, we've developed all this infrastructure to accept crypto in our stores. We could just roll that out to every store in the world if they see that it has an advantage in terms of lower fees or, bringing in more, whatever the advantages that they might see from that adoption, then they can just literally roll it out to every other shop that they've got around the world.
Yeah. That El Salvador thing, they're using the Lightning Network, which is a custodial wallet, which is not really, it's just like, it's a custodial wallet.
Lightning Network itself is not custodial.
Aren't the channels? But the channels are custodial, though, aren't they?
No, the funds get locked. The funds get locked, but it's not. There's no custodian. There's no middleman that can take your funds when you're on the Lightning Network. When you open channels,
nodes have to
your funds are not at risk.
The nodes have to commit an amount.
But however, the wallets that they are using, the one that the government is providing. In fact, both options, the government one and the other one, I think it's Jax, the Strike one or whatever, they are custodial wallets. So the Lightning wallets are custodial wallets, but the Lightning Network itself is non-custodial.
Yeah, okay. So the point is that it's custodial, so it's not your keys, not your crypto. So there is it's something you could have if you wanted a little bit of money in there to spend on stuff, but it's not something you want to put a lot of money in there.
Yeah.
And so it's not the best thing, but it is great for adoption. Like having a whole country just turned on to the whole thing. That's
the other day, I reckon I followed like 20 new Hex Pulse accounts, like on Twitter. And then I reckon like at least another 5 to 10 yesterday. And I haven't been home today. But yeah, there's so many popping up all over the joint. Like, it's crazy. Hey, Archie S, the Hex Oracle, he's in chat. Who's going to win the Hex Oracle? Freddie Quotes. We got Joe Cryptomatic. We're having a competition where we guess every next week what the price will be and whoever's closest to the Hex Oracle. So Archie S in chat got it last week and he's the Hex Oracle this week.
Yeah.
So
how much did Archie guess this week?
I've got all the stats there, so I'll bring those up in a minute.
Unrect was the closest out of people who were on the stream.
Again. That's 2 weeks
running. So Freddie and Cryptomatic, you guys are going to have to guess for next week.
Okay. For 1 week from right now?
Exactly a week from now.
We'll have to get the link. Day 43, you'll have to send the link out for that one, mate. Have you
Yep.
got it?
I'll do that. Yep.
I'm actually going to use the parabola that we just drew on the V1 chart.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you pull that chart back up?
$5.
All right, let me pull my chart up here.
Oh, man. I'm terrible at guessing prices.
So I'm going to go to the daily so we can count this easier.
What are we going by, the daily or what?
You do whatever you want, but
you do it. So it's
next week.
exactly a week in terms of time, Cammy. But the reason I'm going to the daily chart is just so we can count these.
Well, you can use charts, you can use tarot cards, whatever, tea leaves. You do whatever you want to do.
What was it? Moon. What are people using in Bitcoin? It's moon cycles.
Bitcoin's moon cycle.
Did you put the link in the chat for everyone, Jack?
I did.
Yeah,
Dave February was going to do
All right.
Hey,
so basically, get your votes in.
So basically, the parabola reckons it could be. It could actually be.
Idea.
We could be back at this 35.6 cents and still be within the parabola.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
35 cents and be in the parabola. Wow.
Yeah, like if we just in terms of this parabola that we just drew. I know I didn't draw it perfectly. I'll tidy it up a little bit.
It always feels like it's going to pump to me.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would definitely guess up before I would guess down.
RGS Oracle says 55 cents, and the Oracle has spoken.
Yeah, that sounds good. 55 cents sounds good.
But wait, what was his guess? Wasn't that his guess last week as well?
I'll bring that up in a moment.
Okay.
As you're putting your entries in, just make sure you do them in the right format. If you type in like words or put in it in the wrong format, I can't filter it, so you might miss out on your vote.
Interesting.
So yeah, if we go with the and we always do that. We get the nomics one as well. I'll grab that.
So can you put that in as a vote tangent? No.
Yeah, I'll do that. I normally put in current price, nomics, and my own vote on that sheet. So nomics reckons, where is it?
So who won from last week?
All right, well, I'll bring it up for you.
Nomics actually reckons 51.2 cents.
That sounds pretty good.
Oh, we got a super chat.
I've seen people get mad on Twitter when the nomics price prediction is low. They're like, what? Like, because it's just an AI, so it's not actually, no one's actually sitting there making a prediction. But Hex, people who are passionate about Hex, they don't like that prediction being low.
Yeah, I know, but it's only like a computer-generated prediction, so people have got to chill out. Really.
Yeah, it's some kind of machine learning algorithm.
I have never seen that thing be accurate. Not once, ever.
Yeah, it's never accurate. It's never accurate. It's got better. It used to be full bipolar, where it would be one day it would be giving a moon target that's just so unrealistic, and then the next bit it would be like right down low near zero. It was completely erratic, like full bipolar AI. Oh, sorry.
Thanks to Jacob. Thanks to Jacob Butler for the super chat, mate. $10 AUD, just the way we like it. Thanks again for the great content, legends. Sending love from the lockdown city of Melbourne. Hoping to get to Perth once they let us out of jail. Cheers.
Cheers, Jacob. I think there was a question right at the start, just asking for a pulse update.
Do any of you know?
Probably address that. I don't really know.
I saw a tweet from Richard saying that he wasn't going to give an update because the terminology, like the words are just so complex now that it would just sound like he's just trying to do buzzword salad and hype it.
2 months. Well, what?
All right, so ready? Do you want to pop that one up? You want to pop that one up there, J43? We'll run through how we went. So can someone give me the current price? I haven't got that up on my screen.
That form's not loading for me.
Current price is 42 cents. 42.5 cents.
Oh, so someone voted twice and they got it right twice. That was good.
Well done.
Who
was that?
What is it? Yesak 04.
I've never even seen that handle, I think.
Is Yesak in the house?
Yes, sir.
Yesak is the Oracle.
He is the Oracle. He's not even here, but he's the Oracle.
Hey, I reckon if you're not here, you can't be the Oracle. You got to be here.
Yeah.
You had to know
nailed
that
it.
chat. You were going to win.
You got to be. You got to be
to be an
like,
Oracle. You
got to
need
be
a bit
here.
of
Okay,
seeing into the future.
so Unwrecked was the closest out of all of us, followed by Sammy.
So
Tangent,
Unreck got it again.
Yep. So he done well. He's the closest out of all us again. Archie, mate, you dropped the ball.
Hang on, Jacob Butler, who just donated, got it.
Hey,
Did Jacob Butler? Who else? The Mango Junkie? Are all those people? Did they? Who was the closest? Who's? I want to know who's here. Who is in the chat? Who got it? Who got the? Who got the closest?
closest
Who
in the
predicted
chat.
it? Yeah, in the chat.
It's
well,
Yin We Will D.
Hey, guess what? Hey, the Nomics AI actually got pretty close.
Oh no, really?
Hang on, the Mango Junkie. Oh, hang on, no. We've got
Mango Junkie is a fan of my channel.
We've got Ying Wei Yildi. We've got them in the chat.
Yep. Yeah, they're a Perth.
Fantastic. I
Perth
don't know
expert.
how they pronounce that. How
I've got no idea.
I think that's the point.
So it goes by the handle Par Excellence on Twitter.
Oh, hang on. Emma Tarrant was here
Excellent.
though. Is Emma Tarrant still here? She was here earlier.
He was here earlier.
How do I know that name?
You know what? I'm going to really sharpen this Praveler up.
He's getting serious. He's going for the win.
His Oracle skills.
Yo, let me give a shout out real quick. My sound engineer, Chris Lee, is in the chat. What's up,
Hey,
Chris?
Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Chris.
How's it
Love your
going,
work,
bro?
Chris.
Yep. Emma Tarrant's in the chat.
Emma Tarrant's in the chat. Emma Tarrant is the new Oracle.
Oh, Emma,
Unless-
of course. They're from London.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And yes,
her and her
unless
husband.
Yasaki
Hey, Emma.
comes forward.
Well done, Emma.
That's
Emma's a
fantastic.
long-time listener. Long-time
Hello,
listener.
Emma. You are
Is everyone
officially the Oracle
definitely
for the next
agreeing with
week.
that rule that you have to be here to be the winner? Of the
Oh,
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah. Why not?
You got to be here. You got to be here. You can't just make a prediction one week and then fuck off and not come back.
Yeah, and then
You
not
gotta
turn up
be
to the
here.
chat. Like that just shows such a lack of commitment.
You guys are fucking awesome.
You are too,
All right.
Freddie. Can't wait
So
till
are we
you
going to
start-
say? Are we going to say our guesses, or are we just pump them through the sheet so that it still stays
I don't-
stealth and doesn't influence?
We always
Oh,
say
we
ours.
have been saying ours, haven't we?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sammy.
I'll go first,
Okay,
even though
you
that's
go.
probably a disadvantage. I tightened that Parabola right up, and I'm going to go 53.5.
You jerk.
Ooh,
Was that you?
good.
Is
Dude,
that
go
what you
look at what
wanted?
I posted, and I'm very close to that. I mean, you just price it's right, my ass. You just went 0.0001 over what I said.
I swear I did not.
It's all
I swear I did not look at chat.
I crunched up mine too, man, and I was looking at it. I was like, oh, we're gonna be right around here. So you said 535?
Yeah, I think I said 5, or was it 535? Yeah. So just change by like 0.1 or something.
Well, I've got a
Actually-
good number. I got 53, 420, 69.
Also, we're exactly the same.
Oh, you got how many
to
decimal
the,
points
to
is
the point
that?
of a cent. To
Yeah.
Hardcore. Freddie doesn't muck about. He's just going to whip out 10
Unfortunately, I
decimal
can't
places.
change mine because I already submitted it through
It's
the
all
sheet.
good. It's all good.
We're
It's all
just
good.
going to have the same guess, man.
It's all good. It's totally cool. I think I should get the benefit of the doubt because mine has 420 and 69 in it too.
How about this? If we hit it, you can have it. You can take the crown if we win.
Well, we'll see. So, is there like a specific time? Is it at the start of the stream or just during the stream?
end.
Like this time next week at the end of the stream.
All
It's
right,
like
I'm gonna have
we
dry
decided
powder
to end the
loaded.
stream so it keeps the tensions high during the stream, and anyone could
love
win
it.
right through to the end.
Everyone just hangs around just for this moment.
I love it. I love it. I'll have dry powder ready, and right before you guys do it, I'm going to buy or sell just to get them.
Just to pump it to your
It's
price.
a good point. If you were enough of a
tweak.
whale, you could win every week.
You're just there with your calculator trying to work out quadratic like this.
Very competitive.
Very cool. Very cool. I am very competitive. Very competitive.
Guys,
Sammy,
I
what-
chose 4-1-3. Yeah,
Oh,
because
very bearish.
I know. Well, I was 47 this week, and I'm a bit disappointed. So I'm going under my. I'm being bearish this week and see how it pans out.
Okay.
You know, wait, Sammy, your guess, it was at that price like a day ago. That's how close you were in terms of, you know, it might sound like a difference in price, but if you look at it in time, you were within 24 hours of being correct.
I don't think please hold out just for 24 hours, but yeah, nah, back down we went. Doesn't matter. That's all right. Who's next?
Well, you know what, Sammy? I had the same thought process as you. I thought I've fucked up 2 weeks in a row, right? And my first thing was, it's probably going to be bearish. I probably should go bear. And then I went, no, that's what my mind wants me to think. I'm going to do the opposite. And so I'm going. I can't even remember what I put actually. Have you got the sheet up there? Can you see?
You counter traded your own subconscious.
52. Yeah.
Hang on. I'll just have to check and see.
Reverse
No, it was
psychology on
52.
yourself.
No. That was last week.
So
for
you're gonna make
next
me.
week.
You're gonna make me search for this, aren't you?
Just what I just did it like 2 seconds ago, like a few minutes ago. I wrote it in. Now I can't remember.
A lot of people chucked in. Hang on. No.
A lot of people chucking in, are they?
Oh, come on.
I think I said I think I said 61 cents.
Hey, well,
bullish.
what did you?
Yeah,
guys
man.
That,
That's my point. Is it's instead of doing the intuitive bearish thing, I'm gonna go no opposite.
Yes.
We're gonna pump this week.
Yes.
So I want a 50% move this week.
Yeah, well, Richard,
I can't easily sort it until I have to re-download the spreadsheet and everything. So
yeah, no, I think I said 61. I either said 58 or 59 or 61, but it was around there somewhere.
well, if testnet comes out, it's going to go boom.
That's it. Oh, look, there's so many factors that could, pieces of news that could make it go boom, or just the build up. You know, like.
Well, have you seen what the chart's doing? I think we're going to rock it anyway. I know
that's what I'm saying. It looks like we're
been a week out. I reckon my pricing's
massive...
been accurate. I've just been a week out, so I'm sticking with last week's price this week, and I reckon I'll get it.
Yeah. What was last week's? What did you?
I had 61.2.
Oh, okay. So we're both up there, hey? For next week.
Yeah, I think
we're the Bulls. We're the Bulls.
I think I was about 7 days out, so I think I just needed to stick to my guns. But I think timing will be right.
I have a question.
Hmm.
Can I jump in real quick? So someone had posted, I thought I saw on Twitter, where they said that the Pulse launch would happen within 2 weeks, or the testnet would happen within 2 weeks. But then someone said, well, that's not true. And then I saw someone else come back out and say that was confirmed. Was that confirmed?
No.
Okay.
It was. There were some developers who were putting together some sort of one person wanted to put out some news, and he tried to get feedback from the other developers, and it sounds like no one gave too much input. And then he put out, because there was no much input, he just put out that, and it's nothing official. So that thing that's being passed around is not official.
Okay.
But it's maybe a guideline, a vague guideline.
I think the problem when you put a time frame out, even if you say it's an estimated time frame, everyone takes it as gospel and thinks that's when it's going to happen. So I think we just stick with 2 months.
So I actually spoke to a developer, and this person said that he hopes we can do the snapshot within 90 days, but he's pessimistic. It could be up to 180 days. And that was as of Friday when I spoke with this developer.
Wow, 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
He said that's the very pessimistic, like very bearish scenario, but he thinks Snapshot would hopefully be within 90 days. So that would be towards the end of the year.
When you say Snapshot, what that means is mainnet.
Yeah.
So that's the launch of the chain, you know. Yeah.
90 days. But he said maybe as long as 180. And it all depends, right? There's so much going on with software and numbers and code and all that stuff. Like,
it's a big job. Like just to get the testnet up and running and make sure everything works. I mean, what do you even start testing? Like, how far do you go? There's so much running on Ethereum. Like, what do you test? And then the guys like Staker, they haven't even started developing for it yet because they can't. Like they can't start until it exists. So they haven't even started working on it. So when testnet runs up, that's probably when they'll start actually doing what they need to do. So and they're going to want to test all that. Everyone's going to need to test everything to make sure it works. So I don't think it's going to be fast, but doesn't matter. Like we're all looking forward to it, but Hex is still doing what Hex is designed to do. If anything, it's giving more people time to accumulate, get the chance of getting double Hex, and also, well, the people that miss sacrifice literally get a second stab at it by buying Hex, getting Hex on the Pulse side, and then if they wanted to trade that for some Pulse, they can do that probably before bridges exists and before there's any real markets set up. They may be able to then start swapping some of those coins at zero value. So that is still one of the primary ways to get in early on Pulse. But if Hex just keeps doing what it's doing now, I'm quite happy to let it keep going.
Yeah. So I did ask him, I said, what's your gut say about mainnet launch? And he said 90 days at best. So
from now, right.
Did he comment at all about Richard's reluctance to launch sort of iterative testnets? So, i.e., they could have a testnet launch earlier and then have a longer testnet period rather than having just the month that was originally estimated. They could just launch a testnet and then have like a month and then do another testnet and then another month.
No, I just asked about mainnet launch, and he said I would be impressed with 90 days, but I'm pessimistic, so expecting up to 180. And then I said, "Fuck," and he said, "No expectations." He said, "No expectations." I was like, "All right, I get it. I get it."
I mean, let it take however long it will take. The only concern I have with that, if it takes too long, that because we might have quite a few people who are not Hexicans and who don't understand that much about Richard that took part in the sacrifice, and for them this might be very long waiting on anything for what they sacrifice, so they might start a whole new
we don't want a freaking Cardano reputation.
That's the only concern, but for us it doesn't matter, as Jax has said.
Yeah, I don't know. I think most people that have come into Pulse have at least got exposure to Hex now. So I don't there might be some guys that have just gone in for that pure play just to try and get Pulse, but I think most people that do that end up spending the time to
realize what Hex is.
Finding out what Hex is, and then at least and we talked about this last week. No one goes all in straight away. They've got to test how it works, get comfortable with it, see what the chart does, see how the community is before they get to that stage where they will start moving altcoins and things like that across into Hex. So I think, let them do that. Let them take the time, and hopefully that will give them a better position on once the network launches.
Yeah, I mean, Hex is 2 for the price of 1 right now, in a way.
Yeah, well, it is, So I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. It would be worse if you were just sitting there waiting and you didn't have the Hex thing going on, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you guys? Actually, there's a question in there just quickly that Snoopy73 asks, if just after mainnet launch, you got it, mainnet launches a 3-year hex stake actually end stakes, do you get the 3 years of interest also in the PulseChain copy? And that's a yes. Yeah, you do.
The stake is replicated identically.
Yeah.
You know what's going to suck? Say the snapshot is on Tuesday, right?
Yep.
And you have a stake that ends that same day. It's best to not end your stake than to end it and miss the snapshot, right?
Well, it's either you're gonna have them in liquid or you're gonna have the stake.
It doesn't matter.
Because liquid and stake both get mirrored, so it's okay.
Okay. Yep.
There's only one scenario that I see that could be an issue. So when we use the term snapshot, it's really fork. So the chain's just going along in sync with Ethereum, and then at a certain block height, at a particular block, we fork off. So will there be a delay? So we fork, then you need a contract to go and run through and rebalance pools, give everyone their distribution of Pulse.
You're right.
How long is that process
there's
going
a time
to take?
component, isn't there?
Yeah, and you don't know what that is. So let's just say you do have a stake ending right at that block height, and then there's a more than a 2 week
but you can't
delay.
time it.
I think
you can't time your stake ending at a certain block height though.
No, well, it will though. There'll be some people where their stake will end at that block height. Not that exact block height, but that day. So
I think the recommendation will end up being the same as whenever Bitcoin forks. It's don't do anything.
Yeah,
that's
what Richard's going to work out for the community.
Don't send, don't receive, don't stake, don't unstake. Just in that window, just fucking leave everything alone. Is the best advice. That's what they do with the Bitcoin forks, just as like a precautionary.
Mm-hmm.
I just put this comment up because
I was wondering why you put that up.
I just put it up.
I've got one as well, actually, which I thought DJ Cryptomatic was going to say, is that if it takes too long and we end up in a bear market, or worse than being in the bear market would be the early stage of a bear market, that everything's getting wrecked so if it's in the depths of a bear market, that's fine. That's how Hex launched. That's actually probably a good thing. If you're right down there, then you basically have just got huge upside potential from the base. But if it's at the start of the bear market, or just before, or just after the bear market starts, that could be, and obviously that's not going to F the project. That's just going to be bad for price. It's not going to, it could be detrimental to the gains.
Yeah, I think
if
anyone,
we're going to be okay.
If anyone remembered the launch of Hex, there was a period of time where Hex was going to be out in 4 weeks, and it lasted a good 6 months.
Yeah,
minimum.
It
lasted 6 months.
I forgot all about that.
It lasted a long time.
I must have just erased it from my memory.
We just, so when we see when I see a comment like this, I think, well, you obviously weren't around for the the beginning when Hex was coming out.
A comment like that shows lack of faith in Richard and the developers.
It's funny because there was a comment on Twitter where someone said, Richard's got all my sacrifice money and he's out there buying Louis Vuitton bags with it, and and Pulse hasn't launched yet. And I said, oh, you obviously don't understand the definition of the word sacrifice. But it turned out that person was actually a Hexagon, and they were joking. They were not actually like a troll hater actually crying about it. It was just meant to be a joke. And so that came out later. But I thought it is funny that theoretically he could actually be like, yo, I've decided I'm not doing it. Like,
the best scam ever.
Too hard basket. I'm out.
You weren't to expect anything from the work of others.
Exactly.
No expectations of the work of others.
Yeah.
And then he's proving it. It could almost be better for Hex because he's proving that sometimes he doesn't do what you're expecting.
Yeah.
Boom. No expectations.
But Freddie, just to reiterate, I have full faith in Richard. I think Pulse is going to do extremely well. Richard doesn't do things in halves. He's a man of his word. He's for the people. And he doesn't like to see cheap Hex anywhere. He's not going to like to see cheap Pulse anywhere. He cares only about number go up, and he wants to make us rich. So I got full faith in Richard.
100%.
It's hard for me, like being around pre-launch of Hex, right? Like there's a lot of new people in the community, and this is something that I've had to understand and learn and develop here just really over the last week. There's a lot of people new to the community that weren't here to experience all that shit. So I automatically think, since we are such a tight-knit community, and we have been from the very beginning, I need to change and shift my mentality that there are new people here, and there are people who didn't go through that stuff, right? So I just assume, since we're gatekept, like we're all still just like the original crew that's in. But especially with being on the stream with Maddie the other night, he was like, yeah, dude, there's a lot of people who might not understand where all your frustration is coming from because they weren't around for the gatekeeping. They weren't around for that. Now it's still happening. But so yeah, Matt, it's good to have you here, brother.
Point, man.
100%. Like I need to shift my perspective that everyone doesn't have the same outlook on things that I do. And that's something that I need to work on. But yeah, man.
Yeah. So you still
got.
And
we did sit through like so much FUD in the beginning, and Richard, you know, look, no expectations, but Richard just, you know, he proved to me that you know he could deliver on a fantastic product. You know, 100% uptime for, you know, almost 2 years now. It's really amazing, you know. So we have a lot of faith in him because of that. We have a lot of faith in his ability because that's what he's been able to do. And he did take a long time to get it up and running, like it was extended for a long time. So that's why we have this I guess to some extent some blind faith.
Yeah, but it's not just Richard. It's the developers that are behind the scenes doing this, and we don't know. We've got whispers of who some of them are. Some of them we know who are involved, but I think one of the core devs, I'm not sure how public he is in terms of it being in Telegram and things like that. But those guys, the quality of the guys actually doing the work is they're the best at what they do. So these guys have proven it with the Hex contract, and they're not half-assing it on the Pulse side. Most other projects just get shit out as fast as they can. So if you want good code that's tested, that is not going to have security issues, or hopefully not have security issues, then you've got to be patient. It's the guys that just chuck it out there that that's when you lose money, and we've seen a lot of that happening. A lot.
It's very cool to see. It's like, you know, there's developers that are here behind the scenes, and we've seen Richard post ads and stuff like that. It's like he's conducting an orchestra. And all of the developers have their own instrument that they play, and when you bring all of them together, they create a symphony, right? And Richard is there, and he's the conductor, and he's just, you know, here, and here, and it's just really cool to see that happening, man. And like you said,
and not only that, he's doing it from behind the driving wheel of a Ferrari,
right?
Hey, Richard looking skinny, man.
Yeah.
I know.
Looking slim.
He's dropping weight. He's man. He's
and young.
Like dressed up like Men in Black style, like, you know, with the suit, black tie. He's looking good, man.
Hell yeah.
Yo, there was a question from Snoopy that made me think of another question that I want to pose to you guys. Snoopy's question was about, like, is there a way we can stop bots? Obviously, that's a no. But it made me think, you know how Binance Smart Chain became a freaking rug factory because obviously the fees are low, so you can just create projects and add liquidity for cheap. Have you guys got any ideas of how PulseChain will be able to prevent Pulse from just being rug factory in terms of that same mechanism of the fees not being high enough to prevent, to sort of set
an educated community, mate. An educated community. That's how we're, you know, that's why
that's the only defense you can really do, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all you can do, because it's
permissionless
network. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about that today. Actually, we are not going to be able to be the gatekeepers or the guardians of everything that happens on Pulse. And we should be there.
Agree.
Like when you see something that is blatant, point it out.
Then you shout it out.
If we start roadblocking every project that wants to launch because it doesn't meet our high standards,
then nothing would be on there except Hex.
Yeah. So
the
there
whole
is going.
It's permissionless.
Yeah, and we're going to have to go through. There'll be FUD come about because rug pulls will happen on Pulse for sure because it is permissionless, and it's not like when you hear about this stuff happening on Binance. It's not Binance's fault or the chain's fault. It's just the projects that are getting spun up there. But that has also facilitated massive growth on that chain. So we're going to go through it
because people love getting rug.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
They love it. Yeah. They like that adrenaline rush as they fall to the ground, as their feet get swept out from under them.
As they see every cent they own.
Brief adrenaline rush makes it all worth it. All the pain
what's
when
going
they hit the
on?
actual ground, worth it.
So wear it like a badge of honor.
What were we saying last week about being rugged?
We were talking about rug. We were talking about eating rug. We were talking about rug munching.
Eating carpet.
That's right. Eating carpet. That's it. Eat carpet.
Eating carpet. Or eating rug munching.
Rug munching. Rug muncher. Guys,
you go.
Sorry, Jexer, you got something?
No, you're right. You were about to close up shop, were you?
I was just if no one else had anything to add, I was thinking maybe we could go around with everyone's last comments. And
we didn't go through everyone's number. We didn't. I think Cryptomatic did.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm always bullish on Hex, and I think that correction that we just had is over. I think my reasoning was that the whole market pulled down, and yes, we say most of the liquidity is with USDC, but we still have some odd pairings with ETH and BTC on some exchanges. So I think that played a role. And then there was this massive emergency end stake of 50 million, and the guy sold about 20 million Hex of the last 2-3 days. So of course that is a lot of pressure. So, but I think that is over now, and I think it should go up from here. So I think 57 cents is possible until in a week. That is my prediction.
So what's interesting about that guy that dumped? So for those of you who don't know, there was one particular address who end staked. I can't remember how much the figure was now. Was it like 50 million or something?
It was 50, and he paid 32 or something in penalties. Yeah,
and that's dollars, isn't it?
Yeah, so he had a stake worth
50 million Hex.
Yeah, 50 million Hex. So he had a stake worth 50 million Hex. Ended it way early, like not even halfway through the staking period, I think it was. So he got absolutely clobbered. Paid 30. How much was it? DJ Cryptomatic,
either 32 or 37 million Hex in penalties.
In Hex,
crazy
which went to the staker class as a bonus that day. So I think in average we've been getting about 5.7, 5.8 Hex per T share, bumped up to over 10, I think,
10
that day.
Point something, yeah.
So that was a good win for everyone. But what was really interesting though is that was because this guy just basically took it and market sold it, and just for whatever reason, who knows what his reasons were, but dumped the whole lot, cashed it into USDC and sent that to Coinbase. But what was interesting is that the amount of sell pressure that came from that, there was enough buyer support there just to whip the chart straight back up, and the chart still held technically beautiful formation and everything. So
very
really strong. Yeah, so that's a good thing. So,
was that the biggest EES ever?
No. There was the 150 mil.
Was that the 13 cent one?
That was our old buddy. You know our old buddy that done that from back in the day. Wasn't very wise.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I know who that was.
Bad texture.
Nah, the other one.
No,
the old guy. Yeah, the old.
Yeah. He wasn't very wise.
He didn't have bags like that, man. Yeah, he wasn't very wise. That's it.
Hey, the guy that emergency unstaked, does anyone know how much it would have cost him to make the stake in the first place?
It wasn't. Someone did work it out. I could go back and look on chain, but I don't think it was a massive amount.
That's right. Cabana Crypto, Captain Dipshit did the 150 million back in the day. Captain Dipshit.
So, what would that be worth now? Without interest, man,
75 mil, roughly.
Yeah, he must be kicking himself, eh?
So 150 mil gets the full bonus, the full 10%, like bigger pays better bonus as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy fucked up, man. He fucked up.
Yeah,
a lot of Hex.
If there was a song called "You Fucked Up" with lyrics that just says "You fucked up," I would play it to that guy.
It was funny. He hurt more people than just himself as well, because we were at the Perth catch up the other day. I was speaking to someone, and they said they followed him across. They left Hex, followed him across, and then they came back to Hex.
Oh, they sold their Hex as well.
So when people do dumb shit like that, they drag people away from the community, and they hurt not just themselves, but they hurt other people. Yeah. And same with the other guy that another OG Hexagon who went across to another project to help promote that. I bet he's cost a lot of people a lot of money. He's still a Hexagon and he's posting Hex flexes, and I don't want to bag the guy, but he's promoting dragged a lot of people away. Yeah, he dragged a lot of people away.
Yeah, I was surprised at that yesterday, to be honest. Does everybody really know who that is?
Is he still doing it, or did it in the past?
That's bad.
I think he's still doing it.
Can you put it in the private chat so I know you're talking about?
You know what? You know what some of these guys leverage off?
Yeah.
They take something that has become a popular criticism of Hex. So in this case, this was the criticism of the FUD that the OA owned too much of the supply, and then they go and make a clone coin where they're like, we're doing the same project, but we're removing this element that everyone thinks is a bad idea. So it's going to be even better. It's going to be as good as Hex, but then even better, not realizing that that's actually a critical element of what needs to be in place.
So did we get all the predictions? Let's pump these out because we've got like.
We took a long time to get. So who hasn't done this?
Cryptomatic, did you
He
do
just
yours?
did his
57.
He did yours.
57.
Bluey.
Yeah, I did mine. I put it in. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was around. It was either just under 60 cents or just over 60 cents. I can't remember.
Freddie.
53 for 2069.
Okay. And mine will be 49.5. Done. We are done.
So has everyone either put it into the form or had someone else do it for them? So you submit it through a Google Doc that Day43 put into the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone who chatted wants to go in.
So maybe for the guests, someone put theirs in if we want to be good hosts.
I lost.
And if you guys are watching and wondering why Sammy and Jexa are just pissing themselves laughing, it's because someone typed ginger pubes into our private chat, and that's just universally funny. Apparently.
Hey, someone asked who was windsurfing because there's a noise. There's a feedback noise.
Oh, that's probably it's windy out here.
Oh, it's blue bomb outside. Yeah.
All right, guys. It's been great having Freddie. It's been great having you here and DJ Cryptomatic. We can't wait for your clips to come out, your video clip.
Oh yes.
Hell yeah.
So not this Friday, next Friday?
Next Friday?
Yeah, I believe October 1st is the date we are aiming for. Spoke with the video guys yesterday just to give another recap. I know we discussed at the top of the show, but real quick, had a conference call last night with editors, and we should have the first draft done by this Friday. We are going to review. We're going to send it over to the other director who was there and have them review and give pointers and advice and help if they've got enough free time to help us out with that. And then we'll do any edits that we need. And then I'm hoping we will have a final product October 1st, next Friday. We're going to do on Cabana's Happy Hour, we're going to do a pre-release party. So we're gonna have a big, huge party on Happy Hour with Cabana. Probably have the Hexicans on that were there. Hopefully, DJ Cryptomatic will be able to come on for Happy Hour right after his stream, because I know he does the pre party or the pre Happy Hour stream, and then that one, and then
busy night.
Yeah, heck yeah. And then after that, we're going to go straight from Happy Hour into F and Hangout with RG3. And I think we'll do the release on F and Hangout. And then it'll just be an open session for anyone who wants to come on and rock out with us.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be on Happy Hour this week. I'm actually gonna force myself to be on it.
Yeah, we'll believe that when we see it.
Sleeping Beauty. Yeah.
Sorry, Samuel, are you guys 12 hours ahead? So when I started this morning, when we started this morning, it was 7:30 a.m. my time.
And we were
was it 7?
9:30?
So yeah.
Okay.
Well, even between us, there's a few hours different from east to west.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
interesting.
I'm like 21:52.
Yeah, so it's 12 hours between WA and where Freddie is.
Where you are.
Yeah. Yeah, so for Jexa and I, we're exactly the opposite end of the clock to you.
Okay. So when we're starting Happy Hour at 5 p.m. Eastern, it's 5 a.m. over there.
Yes, that's why I've missed it twice in a row.
That's in Western Australia. And for us in Melbourne, it would be 7.
Next week.
It's next week. So, Tangent, not this Friday coming.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry.
Following Friday.
Well,
I'm
Tangent,
on
I
the
think
one that's coming. Like I'm on the one that's coming up this Friday.
I think Tangent's on this week. Cabana just said, and then I'm the following week after.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
My bad.
So, dude, if it's that late, I mean, that's Friday night for you, right? So Saturday morning. So just stay up drinking all night. Do you drink?
I tried that.
I think that's the problem.
the one that just passed. I was like, I'm going out to the club, and I was like, I'm gonna have to come home early for this. Like, I'm gonna have to cut my partying short to make this stream. And when I got home, I was so wrecked. I hit a wall. I honestly, even with V energy drinks, I don't know if you guys have got them over there. It's like Monster or Red Bull. I was drinking these V energy drinks, and I could not fucking keep my eyes away.
Vince said that you were too lit to come on stream. Is that right?
Yeah. It was weed, like as in. So it wasn't just. If it was just me being out, I would have definitely been able to stay away. I've got
okay. Well, try the opposite this week. Don't stay out. Go to bed early.
And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do early. I'm gonna do early. I'm gonna go to bed super early.
Happy Hour is a fun stream, man. Happy Hours, it's one of my favorite streams of the week. I love Cabana. I love his show, man. It's an awesome concept. It's fun. Here in the US, it's like Friday, 5 o'clock. Everyone's ready for the weekend. You're getting off work. It's like, let's go, man.
Yes.
That Happy Hour is fun. Oh, one more thing.
It is the classic Friday, the TGI Friday.
Yep. So everyone make sure that you are going to, that's it, hexticket.com and get your tickets for the conference. I got to plug that for Maddie. We're going to do a big, huge concert. Everyone's going to be performing there. Black Hexican, Corey. We're trying to get Morgan to come in. He's from out of country, so we're going to have to see how that works. Hopefully, I'm sure we'll be able to get him there. What you think about, you bring about. We'll just put that out there. But we're going to build an entire venue at the concert stage. It's going to be a nightclub there where the conference is, and we're just going to put on our own show, and it's going to be freaking amazing. So everyone go to hexticket.com and make sure you get them. So there's a limited amount every week. The more people that buy tickets now, the bigger and better it's going to be able to be once we get there. I think we're limited right now to 1,369 people, but if we get enough people to buy early enough, then we can expand it out to that 3,690 number. There's another huge venue across the street that we have the opportunity to rent if we get it there. I'll put it to you this way. There's not enough tickets for as many millionaires as there are in Hex. So think of that. There's a very limited supply of tickets.
Be early.
Make sure you're you're buying your tickets now and get them as early as you possibly can. And no one's going to go into debt for this. No one's doing anything. We're going to not have sponsors. We're not going to have Binance sponsoring like Bitcoin conference had. They had all these like trading and leverage trading places sponsor it. We don't want people getting wrecked, so it's completely 100% funded by Hexicans for Hexicans. So everybody get out there. I can't say it enough. Buy your tickets. I've got mine. I know a bunch of people have. I think Nardo bought 10 of them. He's bringing like a whole crew. But yeah, get out there and just get your tickets and hexticket.com. And it's gonna be a friggin' blast.
So that's March of next year.
Correct.
6 to 9 of
6
March.
months out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, let's. I think we're going to wind it up, and otherwise we're going to get booted off stream by the Wake Up Hex crew who are about to start. So we'll give everyone watching a chance to go to the loo and go grab something to eat or whatever. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Everyone.
Cool, guys.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you.